Listen. Welcome to my Monday Night Toy Ramblings, where I will ramble on for 3+ hours, and I believe I have a bunch of news today, and then we'll have a topic, and we'll chat before, and you guys will make this absolutely wonderful, so much fun. Hit those like buttons, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. Feel free to send super chats too. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I will tell you that. Anyway, we got a big show today. I always have a big show, but not really. Anyway, I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I gotta say, my alarm went off this morning, and I was like, "What the hell is my alarm going off? It's Sunday." But then I remembered that I actually took my daughter back to her mom's house the night before because she was staying there. So just to say, it started off crazy in the morning, not even realizing like this is going to be a long ass week, but it's always nice to kick off Monday this way, get it started, get it going properly. That way, everyone feels good. Everyone's good to go, and hopefully I can make your week a little bit better. So anyway, let me first start off by saying thank you to Michael from Toy Habits for joining me on Thursday with a friend. That was a lot of fun. Great interview. I mentioned before, these interviews that I do with people that I don't know that well, in my opinion, actually go much better. It's way more difficult when you know someone and you kind of have to remember that you're asking them questions that you may already know the answer to, and you have to make sure you don't skip over that, just because the fact is you want to make sure you're leading them into the question so everyone else knows. And I think we got a lot into Michael. The one thing I totally forgot to talk to him about is the Toy Habit song. I even talked to him afterwards. I'm like, damn it. His brother is a musician. I think he's a music producer, and he made that Toy Habit song, which will get in everyone's head if anyone sings it. So that was the one question I forgot to ask. But if you haven't watched it, please go back and watch it. It's nice to get some of these guys to open up a little bit more. I'm very open. I think everyone knows I'm very open on my show. So there's not too much about me and my life that people don't know. But guys like Toy Habits and Geek Dad Life and, some of these other places, they don't really get into too much. They don't really talk about their lives. Where me, it seems like you know everything. So it's great to get some people to open up, get you guys to know a little bit more about them. Say thank you to Oz. I was on the Clubhouse for longer than I had really anticipated Saturday. That's always fun, and I have to mention, and I'll mention it throughout the night. If you are not subscribed to Ostradamus, please do. If someone can put a link in the chat right now. He is going to be doing a 24-hour stream this weekend. So starting Saturday at 6 a.m. Oz, I won't be there at 6 a.m. I can tell you that much right now. So he's going 6 to 6. He may go longer. So it is a good for me to be able to watch and kind of see what's going on. It will be a good good way for me to see what I'm going to do when I eventually do my my Toys for Tots telethon that I'm going to be doing for 36 hours, which is going to be, wow, that's going to be a long night. But Oz is going to be doing SDCC. He's going to have people rotating in, just as he always does. But 24 hours, him, Ed, and the other guys are going to be on there trying to help out. This week, this Thursday, I will have Chris from Shiny Plastic People on. I've only talked to Chris a few times. I can tell you he was one of the most excited people when I brought up the May the Power of the Force. He came back with that Amperu, which I didn't even realize that they made. And I'm super excited to have him on because he is a funny guy. He doesn't take himself serious, which is a plus because God forbid people are taking themselves too serious. It will, man, what a... that's a difficult way to go. So anyway, Chris from Shiny Plastic People. So make sure you hit that that notification button when you see that live go out, just so you guys don't miss any. You can watch it on the replay if you want, but it's so much more fun to ask questions live. All right, so I got a bunch of pickups this week, which if you haven't been watching my channel, well, I'm not sure why you're here. But let's see here. Just a quick rundown is Wreckage and the Tiger Paw, Shockwave, and the Nightforce Ram. I got there's a Blue Hagnon back here, and Father Christmas from Hella Dope Toys. I got a Gridiron loadout that I just did today, which will go out tomorrow, which is the Arctic Mortar set. That goes with the, you can kind of see them right here. The Snow Serpent right here. All right. I got Beachhead. I finally got Doc. So those videos went out. Those reviews. If you haven't watched them, please go hit a like. Watch it a little bit. It all helps out in everything that I'm doing. Also, if you have not seen it today, I did drop my Cobra Convergence 8 video where I talked about Dr. Mindslaughter. Well, I don't talk so much about it. Cobra Commander drops in and he talks about it, which was really cool of him. This guy gets a bad rap. People think he wants to take over the world and things like that. So go watch it. Support the Cobra Convergence. It was a lot of fun, and it's made me change how we're going to go forward with May the Power of the Force. They do a lot through their Facebook group and their YouTube. And I think I actually mentioned to Allison before when I heard some stuff that they were doing. And I was like, you know what? I think we need to change it up. Have a Facebook group just dedicated to May the Power of the Force. And we're going to go through it like that. So it'll be easier. We'll be able to post what everyone is doing, who's going to do what. So I can't wait. So we're 10 minutes in. There's 38 people watching, so there should be at least 38 likes, if not more. Let's look at this topic right now. We have 27 votes in the topic. Where I'm asking, is buying subs on YouTube okay in your mind? And 22% of you heathens think that it is okay. And that's all right. You're allowed to have your opinion. But let's get to the chat really quick because there's a bunch of you here. We have Lone Dragon in the house. Crusty Old Crow is here. In and out of the chat tonight while I keep unpacking, but mostly listening, and they're in spirit. We have My Buddy's Custom. Johnny Arena, who I actually chatted with on the phone. Him and Tony were doing some weird things together. I don't want to get into it. We have NorCal Voodoo, who I know is a new person in the chat. So great to see you here. What up, everybody? Hope is all good in the hood. We have the Real Grievance here. We have PNC, Derek Holloman, Jay Astro, the Titan is here. GI Bro with the best arms in the community. 3-star draws here. Gun Bunny Customs. I'm gonna have to have you on. As long as you put your face on, I'm gonna have to have you on Thursday with a friend. I know you do a lot of content. We have Model Misfit is in the house. We have Matthew Matson, my first moderator, one of the people that helped kick off this channel. So if you like the channel, give this guy a big round of applause. We have Woody 222 is in the house. Eric Thurman, Ostradamus Toys, who I recently mentioned. Again, Ed, Matthew, if one of you are here, please drop a link to his channel. I want you to go over there and subscribe. There's no reason why this guy hasn't gone over 1,000 yet, but for some odd reason, he hasn't. But he's going to go 24 hours. I'm going to watch it, and then I'm going to say, what the hell am I thinking doing 36 hours? But it's for Toys for Tots, and we'll get into that later on when it gets close. We have Hyperdelic is in the house. Ronnie Trickshot, who I'm going to need your help when I do my marathon, because I need you people on the other side of the world that will be up at certain hours that I shouldn't. Allison Troy is here. We have Shark Eyes, so I already know he's going to be part of it. JLS Comic. If you haven't followed this guy, if you want to know anything about G.I. Joe or Marvel, this is where you need to go right there. Todd C is in the house. I want pastrami in my sub. What did you guys get? Someone else mentioned that too. It was God, who was it? He's on live right now. Yeah, Yojo Jerk and Toy Games. He said, "I thought this was about subs." We have Liquid Identity is in the house. Let's see. I know we got more. We have my other moderator, Action Figs, who's here. Who's buying our subs? Well, I don't know who's buying your subs. Someone needs to go buy me a sub. We have Ted Darklaw from Hella Dope Toys here. Viper Scout, who's going to be a members. Viper Scout, who's also going to be on Thursday with a friend soon. Hey, I mentioned Dr. Mindslatter on the Full Force, and Chris had no idea what I was talking about. But said it sounded cool. Hell, Lenny thought it was cool when I brought it up to him. So hopefully, we'll talk about it when we get to the G.I. Joe segment, because there are some leaks that I already kind of knew about. Action Phase has dropped Oz's channel. Go over there right now and subscribe. Son of a Crayon Slayer is here. We have Ken from Toy Connections. Believe it or not, this guy does not hate me. I can't say the same thing about him, but he does not hate me. Sabir, peace to the chat, and Lawrence. I feel like he's already projecting something here. Emerald Knight is in the house. Best photographer, bar none. He makes Super 7 Ultimates look good. Derek Holloman is in the house. I think we're running out of people here. I think we're coming to the end of everyone. You guys are just chatting amongst yourselves. Is there anyone else? Anyone else? We have Richard Burns, who is here. And, Tools of the Trade. I love that name. I really do like that name. Clint Jorgensen's here. JLS Punk, glad to see you fellow Quick Kick fans here. Quick Kick. What? He's almost as bad as Shipwreck. Machine Man is in the house. And the Briscoe is here. Wow. A lot of you guys here. Please hit that like button. If you're watching and you don't chat, that's perfectly fine. If you're not subscribed because you didn't realize it, please hit it. Did I not mention Nolan? I feel like I skipped over Nolan. Well, there's Nolan right there. All right. So quickly, let's talk about some of the stuff that I have here. So I mentioned a lot of times about my affiliate links, and it all helps out. All right. So please, if you are ordering anything off Amazon, please go click one of the links whenever you order something. It helps support the channel, right? It is huge for me. It definitely It definitely helps everything out. You guys don't realize how much it does help. So please, if you are if you're buying anything off Amazon, go there, click on it. You see all the links that I push out there. Entertainment Earth, anything in stock, you get 10% off. You guys know that. Again, it all helps support. Clothes right now, anything like this that you are interested in, it is free shipping for 2 days left. So if you want to save some money on shipping, you want to buy like $300 worth of clothes, all you want to wear is punk with toy stuff, God bless you. Hey, Mr. Wonderful has showed up. What amazing. And then we have these guys here. Hella Dope Toys, where you get 10% off everything. All right? If it's in stock, if it's pre-order, you use my code, A Punk with Toys, APWT, and you get 10% off anything in stock. Now, you don't get that from Amazon. You don't get that from Entertainment Earth. And then I also want to support these guys right here. Delta 17. Ken is in the house. And I just got some breaking news. If you like Delta 17 and you like Hella Dope Toys, well, I was just notified that they have brokered a deal that Hella Dope Toys will now be selling Delta 17 figures. And if you use my code APWT, you get 10% off. They're going to be pre-order right now because obviously they don't have any stock. But that is the breaking news, just hot off the presses. So please go there. Once the stuff's live, use my code, get 10% off. And as we know, what this does is you want to help support Hella Dope Toys, a nice business. You want to help grow Delta 17. And as Mossman will tell you, you want to put me out of business because I have to pay that extra 10% back. Although I tried telling him that's not how it works. He doesn't seem to believe it. The guy keeps calling me Mossman. He's like, no, you owe us $2 million now. I'm like, I don't owe you shit. But he seems to think so. So yes, this is just come down that they will have the listings going up really soon. So if you want a Hella Dope toy, if you want some Delta 17, you can now get it on Hella Dope Toys. Well, you will be able to get it. And I'm really excited for them because I really do mean it. These guys are great. I have met all of them in real life. And the truth is, Ken is a really good guy. Steve, the other owner, the main owner, whatever, the designer, he is a great guy. Two guys from Ohio. Ted is great. Aaron, he's an Ohio State fan, but what can you say? These people, they live in Ohio. They like sports. They don't have anything else, so they gravitate to Ohio State. Give them a free pass. Let's say hi to Thanos Copter. But anyway, there you go right now. The breaking news that you're only going to get here. All right. Now, I'm sure Viper Island will probably break that news and say that his people on the ground, he just got this breaking news, and he'll probably try and break it and let someone know. Hell, Sharik will probably try. Speaking of Sharik, I just like to say, hey, to all the shark guys, not shark guys, to the shark guys, vidIQ dropped a wonderful video today that talks all about copyright strikes and the other copyright where they just take, and it tells you how to fight it. So it's a great video. You should probably go and watch it. Everyone should go and watch it, and then they can see how full of shit some people are. Anyway, I'm not even joking. It actually helped because if you've seen that I recently, literally within the last hour or so, I think, I pushed out my raising the USS flag. Well, that's always been copyrighted because of the music. So I was able to actually go and remove the music. That's why it sounds like a ship. It actually sounds awful when it removes it, but hey. It's one of my highest rated videos, and I couldn't make anything off it because it was before I was monetized. I didn't know how it went. But I want to see how it works. So anyway. Whew! That was a mouthful. I need to just drink something real quick. All right. So anyway, I am really excited. I'm really excited for Delta 17. I'm really excited for Hella Dope Toys because, honest to God, these guys are really, I mean, they're great people. And the truth is, I really do think that Delta 17, they were, after Fresh Monkey Fiction, they were really the talk of, they really were the talk of Joe Fest. And a lot of it had to do with that they had product there, but the product they had was really good. So I really do. I hope that they have new product by the time the next Joe Fest comes around, so they can have it out there. But absolutely awesome, Ken. Honestly, you're welcome. We go back and forth, and it's fun. I don't ask a YouTuber to write in a book, being a dickhead, saying, hey, I like you way more than I like Ken. I mean, some asshole he really had Pixel Dan write that in his book so he could go and show Ken that this is what Pixel Dan wrote. Like, you're a piece of shit. I don't even know what your name is. I mean, they've told me your name and I keep forgetting because I don't care. But, dude, seriously, grow up, man. And you're a pastor right here? Wow. Did God tell you to do that? All right. Let's say hi to Plastic Skulls. All right. Jay Astro says, I thought this was the episode where we learned that Lawrence has actually been Viper Island this whole time. No, you can see Viper Island. You see what he looks like. He doesn't hide his face. I mean, I would if I looked like that. It's not a good look. Wraith Mace is in the house. Thank you very much. Love this guy. And man, look how fast did he actually look at this. So what do we do when we get this?
Welcome to the creamery.
Krusty, who got it? Wraith Mace has donated gifted one Punk membership. Thank you very much. And Krusty Old Crow. So congratulations, Krusty Old Crow, who only becomes a member of the creamery when someone donates it. But that's all good. It's all good because I appreciate Wraith more than he realizes. I do need your address so I could send you some stickers. You've been very gracious to me. Speaking of stickers, actually I got a whole bunch right here, all right? A few, not a whole bunch. I need to get some stamps. If you want stickers, I told you guys how to get them. punkwithtoys@gmail.com. I will reiterate, do not send me your address on Instagram or Facebook because I want it to go to the Gmail because that stuff gets lost in my Instagram and Facebook. If you have my phone number, then you can send me your address because that means we have a personal connection. All right. But yeah, I still have stickers that I'm trying to get rid of. All I ask is that when you get the stickers, that you post it on Instagram, wherever you put them or whatever, tag me in it so then I can showcase you on my timeline. All right. This week I think we should be getting the Mad Marauders Low Light and Spirit. And the reason why I say that is because I was told in an email that we should be getting charged soon. But unfortunately, with this update that they did, the older stuff, we can't always see what their date is. So it's kind of weird that they did something like that. But hey, you can get a sticker. You've been very supportive. Even if I have to send it to Australia. I don't know how to send stuff to Australia. All right. Clint Jorgensen says, are you going to release APWT NFTs? Well, as much work as I put behind this and what I see NFTs do, that seems like it'd be actually going backwards and trying to stuff that. Yay, pulse updates are my favorite. I think I mentioned it before. I haven't gone back and looked, but yeah, if you updated your pulse updated, you had to put in your information, whatever information you had, like whatever in your pre-orders. If you had it going through your PayPal account, it's still there, so it still will charge you that way. You don't need to worry about it, and you can order through PayPal. I don't know. Can you put that as your primary yet? I think 3 Star said you could. So anyway, I already mentioned the STC Oz. He's going to be doing the clubhouse. We have STCC this week. You know what comes with that. We're finally going to get the G.I. Joe Haslab, the worst kept secret. All right, that secret is about as good of a secret as the people that I don't like in the community. All right. All right. Actually, people I don't like is probably a bigger secret than what the Haslab is going to be. So I am looking forward to it. We're going to talk about it a lot tonight because a lot of stuff's come out and we're kind of seeing the designs of it. We can kind of chat about what we think it's going to be. So quickly, we have 45 votes in. We have 52 people watching. 45 votes on the poll, and I can't believe there's 24% of you that actually think that it's okay to buy subs. Now, I have my opinion on who it might be, but we are going to talk about that because I found it very interesting. And I will say this: I feel like my feelings have changed a little bit on it, depending on what you're doing. Todd C says, Rattler looked a bit flimsy, but still hoping it'll look good. Okay, well, we will see. We'll look at those pictures, but I got to say, you can't look at those pictures and think that it looks flimsy because those pictures are awful. All right. They're not even in standard definition. But looking at them, there is some breakdown to look at it. Matthew says the Rattler wasn't flimsy, just the wheels were off. The landing gear, hopefully they fixed the landing gear. You know what would be really cool is if they gave you like 2 sets of landing gear, like, hey, here's an old style landing gear that you can pop on until it breaks, and here's a good, nice, chunky one that's never gonna break on you. Jay Astro said you should go through the chat and name off everyone and say if you like us or not. I like everyone right now in this chat. Well, maybe. If it's D, yes. If it's John, I'm still a little on the fence. Anyway, say hi to Sergeant Reds. John, I need to find out, or D, whichever one you are. There were some things that people were asking about that I know were in your store, and I know you have the eBay. Okay, so I would say it's John. I know some people were looking for the Wolverine Sabretooth 2-pack, and I know I'd seen it on Friday. This was Saturday. I don't know if Oz reached out to you, but yeah, we need to figure out if you need to figure out a way to. I mean, if people contact you, I mean, I'm not going to buy everyone's stuff and ship it because I got that much money. But yeah, they have a lot of stuff. He says he thinks he has 2 left. So Oz, if you're still interested, I would shoot him a message right now on Instagram if you're still interested in it. Toyomic Displays, nice to have you here. What's everyone up to? Punk, how are you doing? I'm doing excellent. All right. Careful, a crustacean could be lurking. Don't say you like everyone. Everyone that I see in the chat, if Toy Crustacean shows up, well, he deleted the account, but I guess you could always send another Toy Crustacean, right? Not a big fan of that guy. Although that guy got me so many channel members that day. So whatever his feelings were, it really backfired on him. And Crash has just joined, and he was working at the Delta 17 booth. So I don't know if he's heard yet, but Crash, if you haven't heard, Delta 17 and Hella Dope Toys have just brokered a deal, literally within the last hour, to sell their stuff. So if you are interested, if any of you are interested in getting Delta 17 stuff and getting 10% off using my code APWT, well, you can contact them. And I guess I have to pay the difference on it. Plastic Syndicate says, Are you going to get into the new Street Sharks? I am not. If enough people want to discuss them, I will showcase them and give my opinion on them, but it's not something that I'm interested in. So, okay. The Egyptian figure obscure. Which one's the Egyptian? I've looked at them so many times. I've looked at them so many times. I feel like I know which ones you have. 3-star wants to know why are there still no hats on Hella Dope Toy? I don't know. The same reason why I don't have my Hella Dope Toy shirt, Aaron. God, yeah. No, I don't think I've ever seen you have that. But maybe I'm wrong. Because I don't think that one's come in yet, right? Isn't that the newer one that hasn't come in? Yeah. Ed says, knowing how much we make off of Punk's 10% is why we closed the deal. I believe it. I believe it. And Ken, right here, this guy, talked to Sergeant Reds about. I know you recently asked me about it. I brought it up to him before. Ken, look at you two are right above each other. Look at this. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look how cute all these guys are right above each other. We have Sergeant Red right here. Then we have Ken who has a toy line that he needs to sell. So talk to him. All right. Oh, I should probably load the slides, right? That's what happens when you remove stuff. So, all right. So let's get into everything, and let's say hi to Anuabi, Anu to be. I do that, dude. Anu. As long as I call you Anu. Hey, Punk, what's up? All right. Masters of the Universe. We had some stuff that's coming out. Again, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's coming out because of SDCC. So here we have the Horde Trooper in blood red. And actually pretty cool here. What I got here. So yeah, we've seen this before, and this is going to be happening at the Collector Con for Walmart. This is all going off the top of my head because I completely forgot. But this, I believe this Thursday and Friday, is it? That some of the stuff is going to be going out for pre-order. This is an awesome looking figure set. It really is. And this again is your Mattel Origins. And you can tell that they've really started putting new detail into them. They don't look like these cheap $15 to $20 figures, which they originally were showing off. But I do love the color. I love the translucent weapons for his hands, which are made by Roboto and Trapjaw. Has the robot been used before, guys? Yeah, I'm not sure if the robot's been used before. If that's new for this, but. And then we have this guy. Now, I was kind of I was a little confused because they put this up for CollectorCon, and BBTS already has it up for pre-order. And usually the CollectorCon stuff, maybe I'm wrong, but usually the CollectorCon is exclusives at least for a short bit. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and they're just throwing shit out there. After a while, you know, things just get so messed up in your head. But he is glow in the dark, so I do have one on order. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it because, like I said, I'm probably going to be getting rid of most of my Masters of the Universe Origin stuff. So if you are interested in Masters of the Universe Origin, please hit me up and let me know because I might be getting rid of it. And I won't rip you guys off too bad. But this guy does look awesome. Again, and Mattel makes the best glow-in-the-dark figures, bar none. There are some good ones, but I'll tell you what. That Scare Glow that sits up there, along with those skeletons, those things will have a glow to them all night long, which is pretty damn cool because the light's not even on it, and you can still see this little bit. So, that's right. We don't say that name around here. Skunkworks Studios is in the house, and Masterversal Toy Hunter. How are you guys doing? Great to see you guys here. I know, but you know, there's only so much money to go around. That's the problem. But again, this thing looks pretty cool. Like I said, I'm probably going to be getting rid of most of my Origins figures. I will not be getting rid of Scare Glow or the skeletons or Cobra Khan or Camel Khan, which I know people want both of those. Now, I threw this guy in because he's the Turtles of Grayskull. I don't cover Turtles. I will not be covering Turtles. There are way more than enough good channels that cover Turtles that care about it. I'm not one of them. I'm so glad that I don't cover Turtles or that I'm not into Turtles because, well, every single company has a turtle line. I mean, every single company seems to have a turtle line. But if you want something for your Master of the Universe, the Turtles of Grayskull, I know Bud is huge into this. This is like his dream crossover. I think most people's dream crossover was always Transformers and G.I. Joe, Mask and G.I. Joe. But this really works for everyone. Quickly, J-Mac has jumped in. Action Force makes a pretty good glow in the dark. You are absolutely correct. J-Mac, I really do like. I got it up there too. Well, it's not the Scarab. It's the. I always get the Scarab and the other one mixed up. That is a really good figure. And when you hit it with the UV light, it works awesome. Mr. Mad Gus, what's up, Punk and fellow Punk chatters? And Stanley Eberhard, sorry I'm late. Don't ever be sorry that you're late. I'm glad that you guys are here, man. You guys have lives. At least you should have lives. But you should clear it up on Mondays and show up here. Where is it? What PNC? PNC says, that's why I never talk about my TMNT kits. Hey, feel free to talk about it, man. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I watched the viewers drop the moment this thing hit. They're all waiting for the Batman. Yeah, it's Tracer, but it's Tracer, Swarm Tracer. That's it, right here. Action figure set. It is a really good figure. Way better than that Swiffer ghillie suit that they sold. I actually think the Swarm figures, they've always been really smooth joints, except for the ones that broke. they just broke, but shit happens, right? So anyway, this guy here, he's a crocodile, but I do like his little mouser trap jaw or whatever he has on here. So if you want it, there it is. Leatherhead, that's his name. I knew that. I didn't know that because I don't know. I don't know that stuff. But he does look cool. You're absolutely right, J Mac. He looks pretty damn cool. Because even if you're not into turtles, you could easily fit him. He'd be like that. He'd be like Ed from the Lion King, like the third hyena. You could fit him in with your Snake Man, and he'd just be like the laughing one. Jeff Morris has jumped in. Hello there. Buying subs is not good. Who wants fake subs that don't actually watch your content? It's a pretty good argument right there. And then we have Radnom, who does a wonderful stream on Friday nights that usually I'm not in because I'm sleeping or I'm not going to make excuses. I'm just not in it. I love Jonathan, though. That's his real name. I just outed him. Jonathan. All right. Let's get into some McFarlane toys so we can bring the viewership back up. Because right now, you guys are all saying, I need more Batman. I was at Sergeant Red's this week, and he has this huge fucking display of his McFarlane. And I counted all the ones just in the front. There were 16 Batmen right in the front. And each row there's 4 rows, I think. John could correct me. And I think there's about 10 figures, like 10 figures long. It is crazy how many Batman. And there was only a couple that were duplicates. Most of them were all and I didn't count Batgirl or Robin. Just Batman in general. Absolutely crazy. All right. Hey, look. So I was going to put this crowd funder together, but I was so confused. So he's doing a crowd fund where you can get all this stuff, and with each tier, you get the bat plane and the aqua vehicle and Batman and Robin. And so if you want it, you can go figure it out yourself. Because it was so fucking confusing. All right. It is more confusing than trying to figure out when Call Sign Longbow is going to send me my figures and all the updates that they send me. So but look, Batman is right there, so don't worry, you'll get a Batman. I think we talked about this before, so I believe this is going up for CollectorCon. That's why I have it on here. So if you're like, hey, you know what I really need? A zombie Shazam? Well, guess what? McFarlane has one for you. And he's going to have big, giant pins and everything. But he actually does look pretty cool. I'm not going to lie about that. It does look pretty cool, but the way Marvel and DC do zombie figures or vampires, it really makes me wonder, are we these are the guys that are supposed to protect us from the wrongdoings, and they just get turned to vampires or zombies pretty easily. So, but here's the back. Again, I don't know why his cape would get all destroyed if he got zombified, but maybe someone can explain it. So anyway, here you go. Shazam. He comes with 2 fists. He comes with a stand, like the worst stands ever. And my feelings on stands and a card. Here he is, the gold label. Let's say hi to Brick Something. Man, that Shazam got chewed up. It does look good if that's what you want. So this went out. And I know people went completely ape shit over this because of the horse. I did not look at the price. This is a McFarlane store exclusive, I do believe. Now, I think the horse does look really good. But I have to say, when you look at the Mythic Legion's horse and you look at this, one looks like he's on a steady, thin diet. And it's not the Mythic Legion's horse. But I believe you're probably going to get this whole thing for this, for the same price that you'd get the Mythic Legion's horse for. but you also know the quality and everything that you're going to get. Oh, here is Mr. I have not sent my hella dope shirt toy out to Punk yet. Black Knight, great to see you. Have you got the listings up yet for Delta 17? I'm already broke the news for everyone, and they're all waiting to use APWT and charge me that 10% that they know that I have to pay back at the end of the month. So here you go. You get some soft goods, an axe, a knife, a gun, sword, some pistols. This is a nice looking figure. I'm not going to lie. So if you're into McFarlane, if it's still up there, or if you're going to look at, if he does one, he's going to do another version of it. I think we all know that. So just be on the lookout if this is something that you are interested in. And he actually looks pretty good riding. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but at least in this picture, whatever he's using, like whatever paint he's using on the legs, it really does look like he's using soft good jeans. But then you throw in the soft good jacket, and it does look good. And the legend himself, Legend Series, Tony has showed up. He also will be a guest. Let me tell you about this guy. He's so big time now that he was like, I'm going to have to push it back to 10 o'clock. Or I can't do your show. And I was like, all right, that's cool, Tony. Like, whatever it takes to get you and Skeletor on. Seriously. I talked about this, I think, last Monday. If you have not heard this guy's Skeletor imitation, you are missing out. Because it is absolutely amazing. We have Terrence St. John, who is in the house. I think, let me check right now if your sticker's here. No, your sticker's right here. I don't have stamps, so it hasn't gone out yet. But I have it all already. And 80s Toy Boy is here. All right. This is how I prolong 3 hours. So, there you guys go. That's how he looks. The face isn't the greatest, but it's McFarlane. You get what you pay for, right? So there's your Jonah Hex right there, and the General. I don't know what his dog's name was. Matter of fact, I was waiting to get to this point so I can remember Jonah Hex. True story. I saw that movie with my oldest at the movie theater. I don't remember it being really good. But I remember having a good time with Emily when we went to see it. Oh, man. Dude, you're welcome. Tony, like, seriously. I enjoy your content. You're doing, like, longer streams than I am. And you just... People are in there chilling, man. I do not have passive-aggressive behavior. I just have pure aggressive behavior. Passive-aggressive behavior is what a toy kind of mood has. All right, Travis, he is the most passive-aggressive person I've ever met in my entire life. Passive-aggressive person. Did I say passive? Anyway. We got to get off Jonah Hex, right? Because I got a lot of stuff to get through. So anyway, if you want this, everything fits on his person, which is actually pretty cool. Again, I do think this is a pretty good looking figure. The horse does look good. I believe. Is this the same one that was in? It doesn't look like the one that was in the Build-A-Figure. But the horse does look good. It just looks like tiny. It looks like it's a nice thin horse. Yes, Matthew says it best. Punk is purposefully aggressive. Passive aggressive would be talking about someone on your stream and never saying them by name because you don't want people to know. I don't give a shit. Yes, random, I do have past aggressive behavior. Brick says that horse ain't gonna cut it for me. I like the figure though. Faith, you really don't think the figure looks good? Because I think the horse looks good. I mean, it's not the greatest horse, but again, when you're paying this, I'm assuming it is the same price as a Mythic Legion's horse for everything. Yes, JLS actively aggressive. That's I'm not going to say it, but I will highlight it. I watch way too much of Jim Rome. All right. So there's your horse. I almost started singing the Mr. Ed song. All right. Let's get off the horse. Get to some Star Wars. Not a lot of McFarlane news. Is he at San Diego Comic-Con? Just as the horse feet are too close together and will fall over easily. Well, then it'll be just like a McFarlane figure. Yeah, like a McFarlane figure. Quality is greater than quantity. The way I gotta collect. No, I'm not disagreeing, but you don't take this personally or take it personally. You kind of have that same attitude that the gridiron guys do, that just toss their G.I. Joe weapons, toss their G.I. Joe overlays away, and like, I just put gridiron. You don't take time. And I don't really think you're like this, to be honest. But take the time to actually see what someone else is giving you, not just, oh, well, this person gives something better. So remember, people can give some good stuff. Johnny's one of them. All right. Although, Johnny, there are some people way worse than you. It says for the price at 2-pack, you can get one of those fish 2D20 horse. I don't know. Why would a fish? Why would a horse be a fish? All right, so I know we saw this before. This is also going on for Collector Con. If you need to grow your Mandalorian collection, do you know Johnny Reno is a big, huge Mandalorian collector? He collects Mandalorian and Scout Troopers. And like, he's probably excited right now. And War Chest Full of Toys has joined us. I want that horse for sure. And you can get it. No one is going to stop you, War Chest Full of Toys. I mean, how you have a War Chest full of toys. Anyway, I do think these look good. I do like the color. I understand why people don't want to keep buying the stuff. But yeah. And I know we've already looked at these. But this is going up for Collector Con. So it will be up for pre-order. Collector Con is it this week? Is it the same? Really? I think it's this week. I should have looked this stuff up more, but I forget. I pre-ordered a single Shriek-Hawk Target exclusive already. Okay. That horse would be good for running across a Star Destroyer. Didn't they do that in The Last Jedi? They ran like Star Wars horses through a casino. That movie is so bad. I like to say that if you like The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, it's okay, but it's not. Those movies are so bad. They're so bad. Anyway, moving along. If you need some Mandalorians for your troops, like Johnny, go get it. Here's something that if you don't want, don't get it. But you know they have to reuse these bucks. I like this idea. I just wish these pucks, like, they had like little 3D, not 3D. they use like a USB plug, so you could just have them on all the time rather than be battery powered. It seems like it'd be better for everyone, right? But they quickly, I'm surprised at how fast they were able to turn this into a translucent figure, considering the show is just out right now. Derek Holloman says, I got the Night Owl Mandalorian Privateer on the way. Johnny got his today. All right. Hiya Toys. I'm going to talk a little bit about Hiya because they dropped something today. Hyperdelic says, Matt, Acolyte was fine. Won't be collecting any of those figs. Other characters I like died. Man, I had my feelings on the Acolyte. There were some good things. There were some things I liked about it. There were some things I didn't. There were clearly some agendas. And no, Pop, if you're listening, this is not your open cue to come in and start saying your agendas. I can listen to it tomorrow or Friday. But yeah, the Acolyte, you could see their agendas. I will say this: it was some of the worst acting in Star Wars ever. I really do mean that, man. Like some of the worst acting that I've ever seen in Star Wars. It just becomes more and more clear that these people are doing it for a paycheck. Like I said, there were some things that I did like about it, but there were some things that I just went, you're really trying to mess with the lore for some reason. Again, agendas. Anyway, not going to talk about it anymore because that's not my thing. All right, so Hiya dropped this. I know many of you guys like Godzilla. I don't mind Godzilla. It's not my favorite. It's definitely not something that I dislike. Let me remove this really quick. So these are like 7-inch figures. Now, I gotta say this: 7-inch Godzilla figures. This is awesome because you hear people talk about world building and why they don't like G.I. Joe Classified, and that it's not set up for world building where 1/18 is. To me, if you're going to do 7-inch Godzilla figures, man, you need to create small little Tokyo and New York or whatever he's going to smash to. Little towns that he could just be walking through, because really that's how you set stuff up. The same way you did with, that people did with train sets. But I did like Godzilla. What, Godzilla 1 was it? Or -1? Now, I did watch it where it was all dubbed in English because I don't read. You guys have seen me read. Jeff Moore says, Acolyte was something. That is all I will say. I'm trying to be nice. I don't, honestly, I don't care if people like it or don't like it as long as you have a reason why you didn't like. And it's not just that. It's anything. I mean, I can tell you why I don't like the other Star Wars. But it is something that if you are interested in that, tune in tomorrow for Pop Blender and Matthew. I had to think about my moderator's name. He's right there. Reading is hard, Terrence. Reading is very hard. And Steve from Delta 17, Go Godzilla, has shown up. Look at this. We got hella dope toys. We got Delta 17 in here. It's almost like they just brokered a deal today for the allows Delta 17 be sold in hella dope toys. All right. Graph has shown up. People without souls hate Godzilla -1. I mean, it was just a Godzilla movie. I'm not gonna lie, it was a Godzilla movie. I enjoyed it, but it was a Godzilla movie. It was not the greatest thing in the world. It was not bad. All right. So anyway, Godzilla, if you want it in Hiya Toys, I think this is something you can actually get in the U.S. What a concept! So there's Godzilla. I do like these little spikes on his back, his little platelets or whatever they are. But enough Godzilla. So you can see it's 7 inches high. They really do need to create like small little cities that you can just create all kinds of stuff. All right. So this popped up today. Now, don't get me wrong. You guys can't get it because they can't sell them in the U.S. Someone explain that one to me. Hasbro, can you please figure this one out? Who else is doing 4-inch figures that you've given the rights to? It's not Super 7. They're doing O-rings. These are modern 4-inch figures, 1/18 scale, that are, well, they're just Lenny's designs. Unfortunately, when you work at a corporation, if you design something, it's no longer, it's not really your design, right? It's someone else's. Same way Lowlight's gun case is not Bobby Vallis, it's Hasbro's, right? So unfortunately for Lenny, Hiya just gets all his designs and they get to put them in 4-inch form. Almost seems like it'd make more sense if Hasbro did it, but then they don't allow it to be sold in the U.S. Like you have to go through, third-party dealers to get it. But that said, this thing looks awesome. All right, this figure looks fucking badass. I think this red just pops like you wouldn't believe. The black is everything that you want. I love the black face. They gave him the gun. I really wish they'd go with the more of the classic gun, but at least they gave it the bayonet. But man, if Hiya could sell these in the US for $25, which I think what their actual price is supposed to be, rather than people having to spend, I think, $35 to $40. Who has it? Small Joe's has it, right? I think Small Joe's has them for pre-order. I'm going to quickly look here. I thought they had them. But yeah, I think that Small Joe's has them, and I forget how much they are. I can't really find them right now. But they're really expensive, and I can't. If they were $25, man, I'd be all for it. And we have K Johnson here. We've all agreed that we're calling him K Johnson, even though I think we said his name. Well, at least I said his name almost properly. But K Johnson sent it up. Were they 30? They're 30 on Small Joe's? I'm just looking at all this stuff and yeah. Maybe if I would have typed in Hiya, it may show up. Yeah, so let's see. Hiya here. Okay, well, that didn't help because it went away. The Hiya Exquisite Mini. Oh, yeah, the $30. So I guess it's not that bad, but if you start ordering a whole bunch of them, it's going to add up pretty damn quickly. And you do not have a code of APWT to get 10% off. Of course, then it costs me more money. But anyway, I think this thing looks awesome. I'm glad that they decided to do the Cobra Trooper with that new face mask. Unfortunately, I didn't order it. I probably should. maybe one day. But yeah, but this, yeah, I think. Where'd you go? Steve put it. That is perfect. I'm assuming you're talking about this. I think this. Yeah, it looks as good of a modern 4-inch figure as you can get. And Matt O'Brien, who we don't see too much. Happy Monday, Lawrence and crew. Glad to be catching the show tonight, and hope everyone had a great day. I did. I hope everyone else had a great day too. Matt, I hope you did. I know you said you've been working a lot, so hopefully you'll be able to jump in here a little bit more. Because I know you love your Joes and got that Rattler coming out. Oops. Did we say what it's going to be? Anyway, if you are interested in this, it is there. You can get it. Let's see. Is it on Small Joe's yet? No, it's not up. Small Joe's doesn't have that yet. I will say this: when I heard how much the when I heard how much the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow was going for, I definitely regret canceling that order that I was going to get from someone because they're going for like well over $100, like absolutely crazy. Oh, hold on, wait. Jeff Moore says the Hiya Joes are 25 and 28 at Cotswold Collectibles. You know, I think I heard Chad mention that before. I don't know why I said Chad like that. I have no idea. I've never pronounced Chad's name like that in my life. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Need some Mueller for that Haslab. I wish they'd just tell us how much it's going to be so we can know if we're going to have the money or what we have to put aside. But I guess they're going to give us the 45 days, right? So they're going to give us a good amount of time. That's just mean. That's just mean. All right. Anyway, there you go. So yeah, I love that we get to see the stuff, but I just really wish it was more accessible. Whether it be, sorry Ted, BBTS, if it's Hella Dope Toys, if Sergeant Reds could have them. There is a shop that told me that they're going to be getting them in, but he's like, they're going to be expensive because I have to go the third party route to get them. But, you're not going to have to pay for shipping and handling. You'll see what they look like. It just sucks. Especially when it's not like no Hiya stuff is coming. I don't know if you're talking about this, but these won't be at Ollie's. These don't even make it to the U.S. So here's everything that you get. Again, you get the exact same gun that comes on the classified. You get the sword. They did the exact same thing with the backpack. I mean, this is Lenny's design to the T. They did change. I guess I can't say the T because they did change the pistol as the classified one had a wonderful, wonderful sidearm. Absolutely love that sidearm. And I don't think they didn't have a knife up there. So I guess they did make some changes to it. I guess they did make some changes to it. Hey, look who shows up. Tony's Figs. He said he's sorry. He's on the meat wagon. All right. Kate Johnson says, I just got my Jinx this morning and my torch comes Wednesday. Have you opened Jinx? And if so, I'd love to know if her legs fell off as easy as mine did. Because that was very disappointing. I'm not going to lie. All right, Marvel Legends. So these are going up for Collector Con. I don't know if they're available anywhere else. But if you want a Venom, I'm not going to lie, dude. I just love these poses. Clearly this is an old buck because it has pinned knees, but these poses were just too awesome. Like I want them in my slideshow. So if you need a Venom, here you go. I know that there's the movie Venom. If you're into that, big long tongue. Clearly, D from Sergeant Reds is not in because last time I showed something like this, she was all over it. Hyperdelic says, and another one I need. I think this looks really good. And again, the pin, the pin joints, as awful as they can be, you really don't, it's all black, so you just don't notice it that much. But, big buck, some big hands, 2 different head sculpts, and it's probably going to be a $35 to $40 price point. It might even be up to that, I don't know. We looked at the Professor Xavier. Again, this is going up at Collector Con. So, Clint Jorgen says, dude, a Gene Simmons figure. You know what would be awesome? A Gene Simmons figure from Runaway with Tom Cruise. Who has seen Runaway here? 80s movie. Tom Cruise plays a cop. Not Tom Cruise. Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck plays a cop. Gene Simmons is the bad guy, and it's these robots that I can't say go crazy, but they're programmed, and they're like little spiders. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Jeff Moore says the problem with Jinx legs is that the way they're sculpted, the drop-down hips are always in the drop-down position. I'd have to double-check mine. I haven't messed around with her too much at all, as much as I should. So I will. I have to look at that later on. I think I have her. I mean, she's actually right behind me. So anyway.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And Woody 222 with the $20 super chat. Thank you very much. What up, everyone? For future references, I like dry farts, not wet ones. They just make a mess. Don't get it twisted, people. You know what? Wow. Maybe because you do send so many super chats, I will see if I can find a dry fart for you. It is the least I think I could do. I think it might actually benefit the whole chat. Chris Hovid. I remember one Runaway with Simmons. My mom was in love with Tom Selleck. So if Tom Selleck was in something, she would watch it. And awesome. But that was a real fun movie. Jay Solowart says Runaway was a fantastic late 80s sci-fi. Thank you very much. I'm glad other people remember it. It was strange and everything, but awesome. Mr. Wonderful has been a member for 9 months. Thank you very much. Same Time Toys. What's good, everyone? Everyone is starting to show up. 60 people. If you haven't hit that like button, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. It definitely helps out. I know not everyone ends up being subscribed. They don't even realize it. So anyway, Professor Xavier as Warlord. I remember this guy, but I don't really remember. I think it was when I was buying the comic, but not really reading it. So. And then this thing went up. And I know we already talked about this. And so on BBTS and Entertainment Earth, it was marked for $35 for a short bit. Now, if you remember when the Action Soldier and the Action Sailor for G.I. Joe went up, they had them marked for $25. Within an hour or two, they went up to the $35 mark, which is what the MSRP is. And I was on the phone with Tony, and he said something before. I was thinking it, but he said it before I even mentioned to him. I wonder if this is something that Hasbro has done for them and said, hey, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to let you mark it down to this price. We'll sell you so many, and then at this time it has to jump up. Because how is it possible that both Entertainment Earth and BBTS both got those got these figures wrong, but no one else did? All right, it doesn't make any sense unless if they kind of did something to say, hey, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do for you, so you can get more eyes on your stuff. We're giving you a bigger discount because you guys are buying more. But I have a feeling that it's all Hasbro property, that Hasbro did something like that for them. It tends to make sense. And we have It's Jay Gonzo. Punk is in the house. Thank you very much. All right. So if you were able to get this thing for $35, good for you. If you have to spend $50 on it, I'm just going to say it. This is a badass looking figure. This Phoenix sells it. I mean, I think Jean Grey looks good, but when you put this Phoenix in it, man, it's just that much better. I mean, this thing is just it pops. And if it's just sitting on your shelf, if you have this just sitting by itself with Jean Grey and the way they made it so she can come out, this is something that like no one is going to look at and be like, why would you have that? They're going to look at that and be like, dude, that thing is awesome. Brick Something says, wouldn't be surprised if you didn't read them. That Xavier was that era when silly folks were buying too many copies of X-Men because of the shiny covers and investment. Well, I'm trying to think of when that happened, because I loved Age of Apocalypse, and after Age of Apocalypse, I was still into it for quite some time, but after a while, it fizzled out. I'm not gonna lie, it did fizzle out. Also, not just because he sent a super chat, but Woody, I caught your basement video today. Holy shit, you have a lot of stuff. And it's all organized in such a neat manner. Blows my mind. But if you haven't checked out Woody's YouTube channel, you need to go over there and check it out. That guy buys a lot of stuff, and he does some amazing stuff too. So he's also going to be on Thursday with a friend soon. He actually had to send me his phone number because the guy doesn't have social media other than YouTube. So anyway, back to Jean Grey here. This thing is awesome. I do think the figure looks really good. I think you'd be hard pressed. I mean, if you're putting it down, you're either being a hater or you could care less about, Marvel Legends. But you have the Phoenix Force here. I mean, Tony and I were talking about it. They really bumped up their. They really seem to bump up their quality and in their design. It was almost like they saw what G.I. Joe was doing. It really started just like everyone jumped on G.I. Joe, and it seemed like for a while Marvel Legends was just mailing it in. And then these last few waves of figures have been absolutely fucking amazing. Cobra Commander, what's up, gang? Cobra Commander, you did a wonderful job with my intro and my extra on my Cobra Convergence videos. Thank you very much. You did a great job. That was you, right, Cobra Commander? But yeah, you look at this, and I think the Marvel Legends team, I think they've really stepped up their game. That Knight Rider, that Ghost Rider that everyone was going crazy over. The 3-pack, I know it's just another Nick Fury, but I thought those figures were actually really good. So they've really been pushing it, and I think a lot of it has to do with the G.I. Joe team. That they're looking at it like, man, we used to be the bread and butter. Now they sell more, same with Star Wars and G.I. Joe, but with the adult collectors, people are moving to G.I. Joe that weren't G.I. Joe fans just because the stuff looks so good. So here's the packaging for it. Jean Grey, Phoenix Force, Big Phoenix. Again, just the Phoenix itself is worth it. Um, Tony says more quality female bodies, yes. Warbird, Phoenix, etc. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, they're making really good figures. Snowwolf says maybe they make less figures and do better stuff. Well, the problem, are you talking about G.I. Joe, or are you talking about Marvel Legends making less but making better? Marvel Legends, they're at the mercy of, again, Marvel and Disney. So Hasbro's at the mercy of them. That's the whole reason why all this stuff comes out. Like, they have to do certain things a certain way. It sucks. I mean, I would hate to be them and know that, like, you have to do certain things. All right, on to some NECA. Now, I kind of remember this character. I'm not a horror guy, but I definitely do remember when these movies came out. And oddly enough, from the life of me, I cannot think of what they are. What the hell is the name of this movie? This movie series. And the movie starts off with they're like these bad puppet master. So I really like the Puppet Masters when they first came out. I didn't like went too far, just kind of like, I knew someone was gonna say that. Horror movies, not horror movies. Oh, horror, my bad. Yes, thank you. So anyway, if I remember correctly, they started turning to be like good guys, right? They were like good guy puppets rather than just being like evil puppets. If I remember correctly. But yeah, I thought they were really good. And like I said, I'm not a horror guy. I'm not a horror guy either. I do remember all of these figures. Again, the case is really cool. NECA, again, I'll say it again. I don't think that anyone, I don't think anyone does accessories nearly as good as NECA. Their figures, well, they're not the greatest, but yeah. The amount of homework Lawrence does is extraordinary. Hey, the amount of content that I have to put out for everyone, well, not for everyone, for myself. Hey, if you guys really want, I could talk G.I. Joe and just do my homework on G.I. Joe. I mean, in all honesty. It's true, I turned my boy into a G.I. Joe classified collector because of the roadblock I gave him. See? Hey, Ryan Sweeney is in the house. What's up, all? Sorry, I had to go run a couple promotions on some videos on my channel. You know what? When Ryan shows up, what do we have to do?
We're talking about frickin' toys here. They're toys.
I love that song bit. Anyway, so here we go. Not the best looking figure, but then again, she's not an actual person. So, I mean, it is a puppet. So you can really get away with it. There is no doubt about it whatsoever. But yeah, I just remember enjoying this. I also, if I remember correctly, I know what happened in Pet Cemetery, but if I remember correctly, they do cut someone's Achilles tendon. That guy right there, which is just one of the most horrific things that I can think about. But anyway, if you're into Puppet Master, here you go. NECA has dropped this, and you go get it. That's disgusting. She's disgusting. Yeah, random. Yeah, the cases again, like NECA. It's sad that NECA can just like give these amazing accessories, cases, but they tend to lack with most of their figures. I think the gargoyles are really good. Obviously, I caught them, but even them, they have some issues with the weight bearing because of the plastic that they use. I think the elf, is one of the best figures, and I'm glad they're reusing it for other things. But I get the Evil Dead figures, and you're like, ugh. The Assassin's Creed figures that I have, great looking figures, but I can only do so much with them. So, but there you go. If you want it, go get it. Have fun. But yeah, that case is amazing. All right. And is it just me, or is the Puppet Master written like the Muppets? It's not just me, right? I mean, it is written like the Muppets. That's the Muppets logo. Yeah, it's kind of written like the Muppets. Not exactly the same, but enough to make you look at it. All right. Super 7, my favorite. Love Super 7. All right. So they're giving you some SDCC translucent Thundercats. You know what translucent, you see like everything through it. So you can see that much better through poor articulation. And probably be overpriced. They give you less accessories, which is awesome. But hey, if you want them, these are yours to have. So this is Ghost Groon. They will be. I will say this: if you're not going to SDCC, they will go up on Super 7's site. Do not order them from Super 7. They will end up on BBTS, because that's where I made the mistake of ordering that SDCC BAT exclusive. I paid an arm and a leg for shipping, and then it was up on BBTS like later that week, and it took forever to ship it. And I mean, they took forever to ship it. They take your money really quick, but they took forever. Clint says, Punk Army builded the lair, ordered one for each of his kids. So here's a Lionel with glowing eyes. So he comes with 3 different swords. You can have 2 different claws. The eyes light up. So are there batteries in it? Do they light up or do they glow? I mean, it's kind of cool, but unless I have a USB port that plug in his ass, how long can the lights stay on, right? But yeah. And I can tell you right now, you see this shot right here? Him looking through the Sword of Omens? You can't get that shot. There's no way that his arms bend like that. You know? I challenge Emerald Knight, because I'm sure he's going to order this, to someone get me a shot of this Super 7 figure with the glowing eyes looking through the Sword of Omens like he does in the cartoon. You can't, because they give shitty articulation. But anyway, just my gripe. And then you get Mumra. Giant Mumra. Don't worry, we're probably going to charge you more because he has light up eyes, but we're going to give you less. Don't worry. Brick something says, tried to help a Thundercat collector today by grabbing a Kit Kat and Snarf at San Francisco store. No dice. They said those are completely sold out. Oh, nice. Well, yeah. And overpriced. Sold out and overpriced. Amazing how that works, huh? Yeah, there's nothing to be sorry about. The articulation is awful. All right. There was one guy that tried to argue with Matthew that Super 7 has better articulation than a G.I. Joe Classified. He tried saying that the Super 7 Snake Eyes has better articulation than the G.I. Joe Classified. And in no world ever does it have better. How an O-ring has better articulation than a Super 7 Ultimate. All right. So there's Mumra. So now we have the Deke Lady J. Yeah, I said it. Deke. So if you're into reaction, if you love the Deke cartoon, because everyone loves a Deke cartoon, you can get a Lady J in those colors. If that's what you're into, go for it. It's, yeah. Matthew is not only a doctor. Matthew is a karate master. He went to film school. He knows YouTube pretty damn well. He's a massive toy collector. Anyway. All right. But yeah, if you like this, and Hyperdelic says he likes it. Hey, well, I tell you what, it's really odd to me that these reaction figures, they seem to get the paint right, but they never seem to get their ultimates right. But the paint on these reaction, that's why, like, they're overpriced. But I know when I did a comparison of a Super 7 reaction, the Super 7 reaction figures to the dollar store figures. I can't think of their name. People were saying, oh, it's the exact same thing. This just shows you the quality isn't nearly the same, and the paint isn't even close. But it's crazy that these reaction figures, the paint is really good, but then when you get to their ultimates, it's almost like, well, we've already taken your money, so fuck you. I mean, that's exactly how I've always felt about the Super 7. So, all right. But the one thing they do give you is a proper file card. They do give you a proper cross-sell on the back, which is something that I've complained about, and I said that the G.I. Joe retro figures should do. They don't do that. Cobra Commander says, I started watching Punk because he was one of the few doing reviews on reaction G.I. Joe figures, and then he stopped. Dude, it's hard to review a Super 7 reaction figure. I mean, it really is. One thing, they're too expensive to continue to do. They have literally 5 points of articulation. But yeah, it's, and I did the Zartan because they lied about it and then removed it. Hell yeah, we all forgot about that lie. You know, we all weren't crazy thinking that they said that that Zartan glows in the dark. They lied about it, and then they removed it. Once again, people wonder why I'm so hard on Brian Flynn in reaction, saying the guy's always fucking lying. They've lied so many times, and yet some people will kiss his fucking ass so bad. Oh man, don't get me pissed off on this. I couldn't believe at Joe Fest how many people kiss Brian Flynn's ass. I can't believe when I watch some of these YouTubes and they have him on, like how much they kiss his ass. And the guy will fucking flat out lie to people and no one will call him out on it. You know, I don't get it. Anyway. Wow, it's already a G.I. Joe. I have an hour and a half. Good luck. Good luck getting 3 hours out of me this week. All right. So we got a lot to talk about. So let's talk about the leaks of Road Pig who comes with a pit bull. Now, I was told about this by accident a while back. That's why I haven't said anything because, well, they told me by accident, and I really didn't want to. I wasn't going to betray their trust. So, Metal Brand says I would have kissed his ass, but it was missing the skin color paint from the factory. Exactly. So anyway, Road Pig is going to come with a pit bull. Now, what was told to me, and this was something that he had heard, is that they're probably going to use the same buck as Junkyard. And that seems all fine and dandy. And I love my custom Roman. All right? I do. Not as much as I love Roman himself. Oh, yeah, buddy. I need somewhere. Oh, damn it. He's passed out. Anyway, but pit bulls have tails. Rottweilers have stubs. And it is the one thing that I hope that they don't just reuse the buck and ignore that there's a tail. The other thing that I really hate about this is that I hate the fact that they're making a pit bull part of, like, that he's a bad guy. Because they already have a horrible reputation, right? So, it's one thing that I hate. I wish they would not have done that, but unfortunately they did. I am looking forward to Road Pig. He's going to be on a big giant buck. I mean, he's got to be the size of at least the size of Roadblock and Gung Ho. I'm assuming he's probably going to be on that buck. Naga Hide is close to that. Same with Sergeant Slaughter and Bazooka, but they're a little bit shorter. But it is one of those things where it's like, all right, another animal. Now, I'm not lying. I believe, actually, I know for a fact, I had mentioned to Lenny a couple times, either backstage or when he was on, that it'd be great if you did a pit bull and you named it Roman. Now, what else would make it awesome is that this guy right here, Road Pig, is from Go Blue, Michigan, which isn't a real place. I believe it's Go Blue, Michigan. But you get it. Go Blue, Michigan. Right? You have Roman. Where am I? I'm from Michigan. Yeah. And Hurricane Live, yes. Unfortunate, a pit has to be a bad guy. Feels like a bad upsell too, not needed. People absolutely love these animal companions. They have knocked it out of the park. So I really don't have a problem with that. We're going to get these deluxe figures. And again, I don't think they would have done it that way, on purpose. But it just sucks that, no matter what, these pit bulls, they get a bad rap no matter what. And they're seriously some of the best dogs in the world. I think everyone knows that. I mean, you've seen my vicious one, right? But anyway, I wanted to throw this in here. Also, say, hey, hopefully he's named Roman. Unfortunately, Chris McLeod didn't know why when they were saying what names they could go with. I said, Roman, if you know, you know. And he's like, I don't know. because he doesn't watch the show. But I also wanted to showcase Tony's Roman, his custom one that he did for me. And yeah, I know. It's going to come. Oh, you need to do a review on it. Yeah, I'll do it eventually. Matthew Madsen says, all the animals have been great except for the monkey with Naga hide. The Adventure Series Indiana Jones monkey is pretty good. Yeah, the monkey is he's the same as the rat. He has no articulation. At least they didn't make it so that he can sit on his shoulder or on the pig. But yeah. But anyway, I knew about this for quite some time, so I wasn't surprised when I heard. But and then we're getting Raptor. Now we had all heard Raptor was going to be the SDCC exclusive. Now whether or not they changed that up because it came out, you know, they did tell us with a Toy Cannon Mood that they were giving a once-a-man Cobra Commander. Now, he is a deluxe figure, $35 price point, which makes me think that the bird hopefully has the same articulation as Freedom does. Now, being the fact that it's not an eagle, I hope they don't use the same buck. I hope they do make some changes to it, because you don't really want to continue to have the same bird. I mean, it's nice that they're repainting the bird for the Mad Marauders for Spirit, but unfortunately, I don't want to have the same one for Raptor. So, this figure is awful. Period. I'm sure he will look awesome when he's when they do them, because they've made every figure look good, except for, we'll talk about him later on, Falcon. But I need this figure. Now, if you give me a desk and some files and like a filing cabinet, that would be pretty cool, because he is their accountant. But yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of that. So the wings better not suck. I don't know, is it? Mr. Magus says, Hasbro may think to use Roman's name and likeness may cause some legal issues. Exactly. Like I'm going to go see them. Like, that's the likeness of my dog. I mean, they did it for Chris McLeod. I mean, they did change it, but I'd have no issues. And it's a dog. I mean, I love Roman, but he's a dog. You know. Graf says we need Cobra so that we can watch Angry Punk reviews. Again, I think whatever they do is going to look good. It just doesn't mean. I think that Once a Man Cobra Commander looks awesome. We didn't need it. I didn't want it. But if they do something with Raptor, like they did with Vulture in the Spider-Man movies, that'll be pretty cool. If he has cloth wings like this, I'm just going to shake my head. But again, I'm sure it will look pretty good. All right. So this I saw pop up today, and it came from the site Weibo, something like that. And the first thing they said was, it looks like maybe this is going to be a retro Viper. Now, I don't know if there's anyone else that looks like this. The first thing that I thought is maybe it was the Mad Marauder that was a Viper. I can't think of his name. I actually looked him up, but he has a different look, a different plate carrier. So it's definitely not going to be him. Well, I mean, it could be him. Mercer, thank you very much, Eric Zimmerman. It was like after my time, and I never gave two shits about it. So thank you guys for But I did look it up, and his outfit is completely different. But this goes back to a lot of what I've been saying. Would they be willing to fix the buck, change the buck? Because this, as wonderful as these Vipers do look, their articulation is hindered so much by their overlay. Where when you look at this one, if this is a Viper, you can tell that it has the plate carrier and then it has the belt. So it will allow for that the ab crunch to work way better. It's very similar. Now, again, I love this, but they have gone back and Star Wars has created or redone, stormtroopers, scout troopers, Mandalorians, God, we know that. And we know, obviously, in Marvel Legends, they've completely redone characters. How many Wolverines have they done where they're new bucks? And I was wondering if they'd be willing to go back and redo a figure with and fix the buck, change the buck, change the overlays. And I think this might be it. And I think a perfect example is Shockwave. That Shockwave, they completely redid. He uses the same plate carrier on the Night Force Shockwave, but the body is completely different. Same face sculpt, but that buck is completely different. And I think what we're seeing here is that they're willing to do something like that. Now, will they redo the legs and everything because they're already molded? And you can only use these legs for so many things, considering the way the padding is or the stripes are. I hope so, because they're as great as this thing looks, there are some limitations to it. And all the new overlays are way better than what the early ones were. As good as they looked, and I thought they looked really good, they were just in the way. Now, will they give him this gun? Hopefully they get rid of that stupid sidearm. I actually like this gun, but you've heard my stance with retro figures. If this is going to be a retro Viper, and I don't see why you wouldn't do it. There's a lot of people that could not get that first Viper. The 3-pack was way overpriced, and if you're army building, you end up with a whole bunch of officers, which I know a lot of people didn't want. But my feeling is, when it comes to retro figures, you should give retro weapons, retro accessories. And if that means you take some money away and you can't create another figure, I don't care. And I don't get mad over the new weapons, but you can't sell people on retro and then not give them retro. That's where my problem lies. But if you're redoing a whole overlay, maybe you're willing to do the Viper weapon. And where'd the name go? My God. Here it is. Dale McCormick, Mac 3D. Howdy from the UK. Great to see you. I know I've never seen your name before. Matthew, please don't make me wrong. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for joining from the UK. Awesome to awesome to have someone else from across the pond. Matthew, love the 3-pack when it was on clearance. Yeah, that was. I mean, how that doesn't tell Hasbro, hey, we overpriced this, especially when it's our property, and when we do the 3-packs of a Marvel Legend, we don't even charge that much. Like that was price gouging, and I'm glad that was something that went back to them, that they had to put those things on clearance. I wish I would have been able to find some, because I probably would have bought some up for $15. Hurricane Live says, I'd rather have one less figure and 12 unique OG loadout weapons, maybe 9 and more paint apps. Yeah, the paint apps I'm not overly concerned. I think the paint apps they'll get right. But I'm with you. Like, if you have to drop a figure for that year so you can do the proper weapons, then you do it. The worst thing about the Airborne, I guess, wasn't a retro figure. They gave him that stupid gun. Worst fucking gun that they have. That's realistic gun. But they have AK-47s. Now, it's not the exact same AK-47 that came with the Snow Serpent. But why wouldn't you give a gray one? Why wouldn't you redo the backpack? Why wouldn't you give it a mortar? These are all little things that, again, you're selling retro. I'm not buying a Han Solo on a retro card, and then you're giving me a blaster from someone else, and you're like, hey, this was, what was being printed at the time. So you can get one of those weapons. So that's just my feeling. And believe me, guys, before anyone jumps in and says you don't understand logistics, I do understand logistics. And that's why I said I would be okay with you taking it away. Again, it doesn't really bother me that much, but you're selling this to on-card people. The weapons would pay for themselves over time. Lots of guys use the same accessory. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. One of their issues is when they said this, is it's when they're in production. And that's all fine and dandy, but again, make it work. Yeah. So they released the lightsaber through the torso solo. Yeah. They should. Factory is. I'm voting for Punk for Hasbro board. Well, tell you what, I'd make sure that Hooded Cobra Commander could be made. I will say that. I would be all for making sure Hooded Cobra Commander, which I had to explain it to someone again today. Now, he wasn't a belligerent asshole about it. Venom, if he's watching, he knew who I was, so I'm assuming he's watched before. He wasn't a belligerent asshole like a lot of people are. So I had Aaron the toy enhancer, but I'm still surprised that people don't know and they don't know the full story of it. I mean, it's all out there. I just don't think people want to believe it. The whole Hooded Cobra Commander. Anyway, we've looked at this Viper for long enough. All right, so then this one came out, and I totally forgot to relook up this guy's name. It's like Nathan. I can see his watermark. So these are the wings for Nemesis Immortal / Nemesis Enforcer. Yes, I would make Hasbro great again. I'll tell you what, you can say what you want. Most of these figures are getting better. They were really sloppy coming out of the pandemic. Like, hey, everyone just has extra money, they'll buy whatever. So I'm glad that we do see something better. So anyway, these are the wings for the Nemesis Immortal. Now, I heard someone mention they wish they would have been bigger wings. Again, from what I understand, this is what the comic is going to be doing. I don't think this is going to make this guy fly. But hey, we've seen stranger things in life, right? Maybe not. And then they showed off a bunch of these things, which clearly have a bendy wire in them. So I think it's actually pretty cool. Again, you guys know my feelings on Cobra Law. It's something I wish they weren't making. It is something that I will buy and that I will review because I've been a completist so far. But yeah, this is I just wish Cobra Law didn't exist. Dale McCormick says, sorry, YouTube dropped me in halfway through the stream. I'll say hello again, everyone. Hey, you know what? As long as you're here. James Lucas has joined us. How are you doing? All right. They're somewhat like face huggers, but not. They're very similar, I guess you could say. And Hurricane says, I prefer the huge leathery wings. I mean, if I had to have I would have wanted to see them like the gargoyles or like Angel uh, from Marvel Legends. I think that probably would have been the right way to go. But this is something different. This is more like a bat wing, like bat wings. I hope they don't get sued by McFarlane, who owns Batman. But that's kind of how they look to me. But here's a whole bunch of them. Just it's weird. They're all just kind of like tossed down there. Like, here you go. So, all right. And digital diarrhea. How are you doing, Gio? All right. So, I know there's a lot of people that didn't want to believe it. A lot of people want to think there was going to be an O-ring. I don't know why. I thought we made it perfectly clear they're doing classified. I think that's all that they're doing. But we are getting a Rattler. It is, like I said, the worst kept secret. I mean, worse than me keeping secrets of who I don't like. If you don't know who I don't like, then I don't think you're watching the channel. We have a Lunchbox Killer. Not sure about those wings. Yeah, a lot of people are saying the same thing. I mean, at least that's what I've kind of read, but who knows? I'm sure it's going to look absolutely awesome. And as much as I hate it, the more and more I see this stuff, the more they just do such a good job. So anyway, this dropped. Baroness in her little flight suit. Then we got this G.I. Joe Haslab, or G.I. Joe Classified, designed by Haslab. If you don't know, they work with another team that is specifically there to do Haslabs. So they're not really designing everything. They're giving cues, and then there is a Haslab team that designs everything that goes through Haslab. At least from what I understand. And that's how it's been said to everyone. Daredevil Dave said, damn, I'm late. No real apologies, though. Got home from work and went straight into eating boiled shrimp with my special sauce. I don't want to know anything about your special sauce. You never have to apologize for being late. I'm glad you're here, watching on the replay, whatever it is, you know? All right. So these pictures dropped last week. And this caused everyone to say they think it's a Night Raven. Now, even Chris McLeod is saying, I think a Night Raven could be possible. I don't think so. The Night Raven is the longest O-ring. The O-ring is the longest O-ring plane. It would be huge. And sure, they could scale it back, but then it's not really a Night. All right? So they showed him what a sticker sheet, and they kind of talked about it. Now, I kept looking at this, and I kept trying to figure out, how that could be the Jetson. Looked at, the original one. So yeah, people really couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out either. All right. Well, this thing dropped today. All right, and I'm gonna look for it right here. Head it up. All right. So this dropped today, and we can see all these different Rattler configurations. Now, I'm just going to say the one with the super long wings is clearly going to be something you can pop onto it. But let's do this. Oops, not what I wanted. Nope, the one slides. I'm going to pull up this screen here where you can see this stuff a little bit better, hopefully. All right. So I wanted to look at everything. So this is clearly the classic Rattler. You can see where all the missiles are going to go. It looks like it has higher landing gear. All right. Well, that's a damn good question, because if you look at the 6-inch figure right here, that thing's pretty fucking big. All right. So this is the C option. All right. So this looks like it's a classic. You can see the gunner position back here. All right. You can see that it has the Gatling gun right here on the front. Then you go over this M1, which it has a different gun. All right. Same landing gear. Still has everything on it, which I would assume this is going to be one of the tiers, which I can't imagine them doing tiers that aren't just figures. That would really hurt, especially when they said they learned. Now, I think this is just a different angle. So I'm thinking maybe they're telling you the different things that you can do. This one here, you can tell there's some sort of extension that can go to the wings, which is going to make it look absolutely huge. All these different guns, right? So there's guns that are underneath the wing or underneath the engines. Now, I don't see. It almost looks like this doesn't rotate up, although the original did. That's a huge thing. Here they're talking about the light-up display in the cockpit. I really didn't understand. This is a stand, all right, and then it's giving you all the different missiles. So I was looking at this here, and it looks like these are blast effects for these two fucking guns, because it looks like this is the nose of the plane. So I don't believe this is the rear end of the plane where people were thinking this was the Night Raven. I believe this is the nose of the plane. There's the wings right here. There's a set of missiles right here, which they only have a couple right there. And this would be these dual guns. So I think that's actually what we're looking at right now, if I'm being 100% honest. So where everyone was thinking this looks like a Night Raven from the back, when you look at like what I'm saying, this looks like the nose of the plane. They have dual guns, which is what you see right here, not this one. So, hey, look at this. Travis Moody. Yo, Little Sarge, I work on a set tonight, but wanted to check in. I'm super happy for the fan stream and Thursday at 8 p.m., an hour before SDCC opens. Okay. I lost? Did I miss something? So if it doesn't say Eastern Standard Time, I don't know what time it is. So 11. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we should get the announcement at 11 o'clock, and then we'll go live, which will be great. I can't wait. This thing better be $300. I'm worried it's gonna be a little bit more. But I have to say, again, we're just looking at pictures. That's why I'm not going to. That's why I'm not going to get too upset over it. But these pictures don't look good. I really don't like these extended wings. I can tell you that if they give, I can't say that I wouldn't use it, because I also said I hated that smiling Destro head from Mezco, and that's my favorite head of them all. But now, Aaron, you say $375. That it will not be $450. It definitely won't be. Ryan Sweeney feels that $300 is their limit. I'm thinking more $350. I hope not. I hope I'm completely fucking wrong. This is their property. They don't have to pay any royalties to it. I would rather see them keep it at 300 and raise the quantity to hit the first tier. Ryan says 318,000 backers. Oof, man. That's a lot of backers. I mean, I know they smashed through that, but yeah. Gunbuddy says the pick above the blast effects looks like a pick of the OG toy. It is. So, yeah. So it's in classified series, but I think that they were trying to show you. I think this was like, because it's clearly in the. Yeah, I think that's someone. It might be, but a lot of these are something. A lot of these are things that have, come to fruition. You might be absolutely right. It could be. This just could be all total bullshit. But yeah, I would assume that because this is the O-ring one. But again, it does look like one, and it doesn't look exactly like it. Usually, when people do a mock-up, they make it look almost identical, or it's so good that you can tell that it's not real. This looks like a really shady version. I mean, we're gonna know in a couple days. This extended one, I just don't get. Now, clearly, this would be something that would have to clip onto the wings and make it really long. But if this is how it is, this is a 6-inch figure, and it's going to be long. So, but yeah. But I want when I was looking at this, I said that looks like the front end. That looks like the nose of the plane. Where everyone thought that was the rear end, thinking that it was the Night Raven. When you look at it and think these are blast effects, that looks like the nose of the plane. So, Derek Holloman says the Rattler. If it's the Rattler over 350, I need to know all the tiers up front. Well, I think even if it's 350. This is the ramen version. Even if it's 350, you're gonna hit the tier. They're gonna hit the tiers so fast. And here's the other thing, and this is something that, again, it's not an indictment towards you, but you don't get charged for this to the end. So there's no reason not to back it if you don't know what it is, because if you get all the tiers and you don't like it, then you can just back out. They do not charge you at all. So anyway, I wanted to show this off because you can kind of see the stuff a little bit bigger. But I mean, I could see it being a mock-up, but like I said, most people when they do a mock-up, it looks identical. The other thing that I noticed, the reason why this doesn't look like the wings rotate, if this is real, is because the wheels are right below the engine. So if the wheels are below the engine, it definitely can't rotate up. But we will find out really shortly. Real shortly. So, it'll be hidden tiers just in case they need to move the goalpost. No, they don't. I don't think that they do that. I do think that they changed the figure on the Hiss tank because it went so fast. But I don't think they normally do that. Like, I don't think they really move the goalposts. They want to keep it where it's at because it's all built into it. I wish Ken was here because Ken had a talk with someone that really broke down everything that we've been saying. Like, hey, this is how it is. It is already built in. Like, you have to hit this, then we know we're making our money. Liquid Identity says guns don't have that kind of flash. Those are twin jet engine in the afterburn. In the afterburn, probably the actual real life takeoff photos. Okay. Let's see if I can find it really quick. I know what you're saying. Okay? I know exactly what you're saying. But you have to remember that this is Hasbro and how they do things. G.I. Joe, Sky Striker, Haslab. All right. Just want to find something really quick and kind of show you what it is that I'm referring to. I got to find the gun blasts. Wow. I don't see it. If you have the Sky Striker Haslab and you look at the gun blasts, that's how they did their gun blasts. Very similar to that. They don't make blast effects really good like One Identity. I know what you're saying, but they don't make them look proper. And of course, all these pictures, I don't see it. And mine are all the way downstairs. But the blast effects that they use for the Sky Striker, they don't fit properly. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to read through this stuff here. Kind of got lost here trying to figure stuff here. When I see the Rella at SDCC, I'm going to ask Lenny to take a look at it, then run off with it, and got my getaway car, and everything. It'll be a world premiere exclusive. Yeah, you will do anything to be number one. Remember, if you're not first, you're Moody. Anyway, that was for someone. But anyway, I think the cat's out of the bag. It's not an O-ring. I don't think anyone needs to worry about it being an O-ring. It is clearly, if you're first, you're in prison. If you're not first, you're in prison. Oh, man. But yeah, people have been trying to say that it's going to be this. There's people thinking that it's going to be a Python Patrol Conquest. Come on. They're never going to make a Sky Striker. I think that's just Sky Striker's too big. They're not going to do a Night Raven. The Conquest is the most logical G.I. Joe plane that they're going to do, especially with the Rattler coming. The Dragonfly can only take on it so much, right? So, and it's the same reason why I say we're not getting a Cobra Moray. Then they have to produce something that's just as big, and that would be the hovercraft, the Whale. And I think you can get away with doing a water moccasin, not Haslab, to fight the Whale. All right. So then we got this. So the rumor was, and this was told to me by a couple people, and Chris McLeod even confirmed this, that the original rumor was that Falcon was going to come with the Dreadnought Heart Wrencher. So they obviously wouldn't change that, or that was something they floated out there. Master Hoarder, I do not remember seeing you. I go postal if it's a Python Patrol Conquest. Do you mean postal for a good reason or for a bad reason? Because you just don't have to buy it if you don't like it. Pop Blender, I dated a whale once. Good for you. Good for you. All right. But there was, they changed it up. So you're getting Night Force Falcon and Quarrel. Now, I don't know much about Quarrel, but she is a repaint of Scarlet. Also, I was told by the person that runs the G.I. Joe team that Falcon head sculpt would never be used again. and I feel like he kept up his end of the bargain and did not give us that because that thing was awful. And there's 100 reasons why. People can believe it or not. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, so this is going up for Walmart Collector Con, $40 or $55 price point. They're giving you these Steel Brigade helmets. Yes, I said Steel Brigade. You can call them whatever the fuck you want. We know what they are. But they're giving you Quarrel, which is an action force. The real action force from Palatoy line. I know people absolutely love that. They think it's just a dig at Bobby Bala. I really don't think so much. His action force line is something completely different. This is reaching into the lore of G.I. Joe, Action Force, or whatever, Hasbro has the rights to. Well, yeah, this is a Night Force 2-pack because it's exclusive. So, so, but Punk, did they do the right thing and destroy the first Falcon head? I don't think they have the right. I don't think they have the right to do that. But I can tell you for a fact that if he could, he would. All right. Just kidding. But anyway, so this goes back to everything that I had said before. They have no problem using a different buck for a different, like for the same character. So this Falcon is pretty much completely different. Now, I was listening to the Full Force, and they were saying how much they didn't like the Falcon buck. I think the Falcon looked awesome, other than the head sculpt. Now, I do like the fact that they gave the Steel Brigade head or helmet. So if you decide you're going to pop this head off and put it on your Falcon, well, you got to do something with that ugly face. You can put a helmet over it. So you can have your Falcon that doesn't look awful. And yes, it is the worst looking sculpt that they've made. And it's not even close. But here we go. We got a good face. The Quarrel looks good. They don't tend to use the same faces for different characters, which thank you, because they really shouldn't. It's actually one of my gripes with Mythic Legions. And again, I rave about this Thrace, but they're using that face too much, and we all know what it is. This Falcon looks like he said his prayers and took his vitamins. Dude, if my face looked like that, I'd be saying prayers too. I really don't think so, not with everything that's going on with Russia. Hasbro is too self-conscious to let that go. I mean, they won't do a hooded Cobra Commander. So I don't think that we will see an October Guard. I wouldn't be surprised if we get the figures, but they won't be called the October Guard. All right. So she has the same quiver and same shitty crossbow, and that is a shitty crossbow. They made it 2 pieces, and the thing comes off. Like it really sucks. And the quiver, as nice as it is, it doesn't hold all the arrows because it gets smaller on one side. Mr. Magga says, so this will be the 3rd time we pay for a buck we already paid to have made. Well, I'm assuming you're talking about Glenda. So when it comes to the figures, they were going to make that buck no matter what. It's, in my opinion, it has to do with the vehicle that is our issues. They're going to reuse those bucks no matter what. That buck was coming out. Because remember, these figures are they're putting in production 18 to 24 months ahead of time. And if you look at the timeline of when that Scarlet came out, that Glenda was just, I mean, if that thing wouldn't have funded, that Scarlet was coming out. The same way we're going to get, Crazy Legs, and we're going to get a Ripcord. They're going to reuse, they're going to reuse the Buck for Wild Bill. So I don't really have an issue with that. I understand what you're saying because I have a problem too. If they drop a Hiss tank, I'm going to be pissed. If it's the same Hiss tank. Because, yeah, you're right. We paid for that. But I wouldn't – I can't look at it the same way you are just for that matter. Like, we knew that the Retro Cobra Commander was coming. They just threw it in that. So, Lundre, release Ripcord with the Marlin Waves. There are a lot of people that want that. I'm just gonna say that. They reuse Bucks all the time for company. They reuse Bucks all the time. Every company does it. It's how you have over 100 figures and not 100 items. Yeah, but what he's trying to say, he was from what I believe I understanding, is he was thinking that all those Bucks in the Haslab. Take your clothes there, please.
Yep.
That he felt that everything that's going to be in that Haslab is like we're paying for that. The Bucks are not things that I think that we're paying for. And we're paying to get the figures. But I don't think they're creating new Bucks for that. So she's a mix of both Scarlet figs. Is she? Well, she's all pinless. I think you're talking about the overlay. Maybe the overlay, but yeah, I don't even care. I mean, if I'm going to get cool figures like this, figures that were never, that people never thought we were going to get. There were people that thought like they're going to run out of, they only made so many O-rings. We're going to run out. They ain't going to run out because they're going to be touching other things. They're eventually going to hit the Renegades. Now that they have. Basically, they're telling you, hey, we are going to pull from the Palatoy line if we have it, if we can. So, maybe, just maybe they look at how people are going nuts over Fresh Monkey Fiction and say, hey, you know what? We can grab some of that stuff. Lunchbox Killer said Night Force is the newer version of G.I. Joe. They can add more. They can add more new characters. Oh yeah, but there's still so many. Like, I don't think for a second that they're not going to touch Sergeant Savage. And I think Sergeant Savage will make an awesome classified figure. I thought Sergeant Savage was an awful, awful line. It wasn't G.I. Joe. Scale was completely wrong. It was never a scale they did. But to do a figure like that, I mean, Sergeant Savage is really Sergeant Rock, which cool, McFarlane's going to do it. Unfortunately, he's an inch too big for everyone. So, but I do think both these figures look awesome. And you're right. A lot of, there's a lot of retooling in this. This is just how they do it. And, you either be willing to pay it, pay the money for it and suck it up, or you say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to nitpick. I'm going to pick and choose what I want, and that's perfectly fine too. I don't think this line is going anywhere anytime soon. So this is how it looks. The very bland box. It's even more bland when it's Night Force, just in my opinion. Your Clown says way too many subgroup figures. Yes and no. If you want, again, these sublines, they pay for figures going forward. And they've had these figures, it's not like these sublines are something new. They're not making subline The only subline they made was Cobra Island, and they didn't really change anything. I mean, people have a hard time understanding. People have a hard time believing that one of the biggest issues is that G.I. Joe doesn't have endless resources when it comes financially. They have a budget. Hasbro may, but the G.I. Joe brand doesn't. So the only way that they can increase it is give you these sublines, give you repaints. It's your choice if you don't want them. I don't know why anyone feels like they have to buy it. You know, if you don't want to buy it, if you don't feel like it's worth your money, then don't worry about it. No matter what you can, when people were pissed off about Snake Eyes, all the Snake Eyes they were making, I said you'd have a complaint if, and here's my big if they weren't giving us new figures, but they are. They've been doing it the whole time. So there's nothing wrong with, hey, you look at this and you're like, I don't want a Quarrel. I have no idea. And you know what? I don't really want that Falcon. I'm fine with the other Falcon. No one's fine with the other Falcon. Probably a bad example, but it was on my screen. It's cool. You don't have to buy it. These are being paid for by Walmart. Walmart says, I want exclusives. And the G.I. Joe team is smart enough to tell Hasbro, to tell Target and Walmart, hey, you know what? We'll give you the sub team. They tell Target, hey, we'll give you these. Okay, cool. So that's what they're getting. They're paying for it. They're saying we want something special that will make people come into our store, or go on our lot, go on our website and buy the stuff. So, and Crusty Crow says, agreed on Sergeant Savage coming back with Classified 100%. And again, I think Sergeant Savage was an awful, awful line because it didn't fit with anything. But this is completely due. Oops. Ooh, boy, I hate when I highlight everything. Hurricane says exactly, are you buying a figure you love or are you buying a number? And I do think that's a dirty trick they played. I do think that is a dirty trick that they played by putting that number on. They know people are going to buy them. Maybe the sublines, they should not have put the numbers on them or put a different number on them for the sublines. That way, if people aren't a completionist, but again, that's in your head. And I'm not saying you, but because I'm the same way. I have every single figure so far. And Ryan says, retail wants store exclusive figures. This helps drive traffic into the stores and help increase the budgets so we can get more figures. Exactly what I just said. And I'm not telling Ryan that's what I said. Ryan, I talk a lot. So, but again, if you don't ever feel like you can't, don't ever feel like, if I don't buy these figures, they're not going to stop making them. If you don't think it's worth your money, you shouldn't think twice that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to buy this because my money is important to me. I work hard for it. I review the figure, so I try and get every single one. In the back end, it does help to pay for a lot of it. So, but don't ever feel like you have to buy everything just because, oh my God, then they'll stop making the figures. No, they'll stop making the figures when it's not profitable for them anymore. You Are a Clown says, it can't be getting mileage out of the old buck with a repaint when they add new parts or accessories to it. Well, yes, it can. Okay, so Lenny even talked about this. Lenny and Tony talked about this. So you're creating a figure and you're looking at it and you're like, okay, well, we have these arms and we have these legs and we have this body. And then we can grab that overlay, right? Then you have so much money to create new stuff. New weapons, new overlay, and new bucks, and new heads for different figures. So, yeah, you figure you're looking at this, right? And I mean, what is new in this figure? Is this? I don't believe that his plate carrier has been used before, or his chest, whatever his overlay is. So that's one thing that they're adding. 2 different face sculpts. Well, you saved money by using that buck. So you create new weapons, maybe you create new hands for some figures, maybe different arms, but you're using the same buck. Go look at the first couple waves of G.I. Joe, and they're almost all the same. I mean, they have so many bucks and they interchange them up. The only arm that they've never reused is Major Blood. I mean, you can't really reuse Major Blood. Look how many bats they've made. So, but anyway, I'm going to go on and on about this, but I don't want to continue to go on too long. Did I just say that? War Chest says, I agree. You don't need to buy every fig. I skipped a few because I thought they were crap, and I don't miss them for my collection. Metalhead, Blue Ninjas, Crimson 3-pack, a hard pass for me. The Blue Ninjas are really good. you can like whatever you like. I was actually very impressed with the Blue Ninjas. I think Matthew felt the same way, and he doesn't believe ninjas are real. Marvel Legends still uses bucks from over 10 years ago. Yeah. I agree. Like, that buck maybe should be retired, but they're not going to because, and I'm not sure if I don't know if that's what you're saying, Gun Money, but yeah, there's like little things that, I am with you. The red ninjas were awful. A matter of fact, the best ninjas were the hand ninjas. They fit perfect. All right. Yeah, again, I'm not trying to tell you to buy it. I'm just saying I was impressed with them, even though it is all reused for the most part. All right, so here it is. It's $55. It goes on sale again. When? I think this Friday, which is on this SDCC. So, the Fruit Ninjas are small, and one that they sent me has 2 right feet. Oh, really? You don't like the Hand Ninja? I think the Hand Ninja is awesome. But if you take the Hand Ninja head and you put it on the Red Ninja, he looks 10 times better. And the colors are the exact same. All right. So here's everything that you get with them. I don't understand why they're giving you Tunnel Rats flashlights. You can't do anything with them. I hate this machine gun. I hate the shotgun. I'm okay with the grenade launcher. I'm okay with this M16. I don't like the crossbow because it comes apart. I wish they would have just made it one thing. But yeah, so. But you get the helmet so you can cover up your old Falcon's head. Woo, and that's it. Oops, don't want that. Hey, look, it's me again. Anyway, okay. My stomach's going crazy right now. All this fasting that I do. All right. Well, because of the big news, because of Hella Dope Toys, all the people that are here right now that weren't here earlier, let me just tell you the breaking news that Hella Dope Toys and Delta 17 have just brokered a deal. Right before I went on, I was notified by Ted himself to let me know that, hey, you know what? We just brokered a deal. We're going to be selling Delta 17 figures. So once they go live, they will be pre-order first. You can use my code APWT at Punk with Toys. So it's APWT. You get 10% off, even if they are, even if it's pre-order. So if you've been wondering about Delta 17 figures, you think the $25 is just a little bit too expensive, I'm going to disagree with you because unfortunately, smaller companies, they have to charge more because they don't make nearly as many. But when you think about it, Hasbro was charging us $24 in the end. I think 22. It's $22 per O-ring. So if you are interested, check them out. I'm assuming they should be up in the next couple of days because I know Aaron was working on it. They might even be up now. I probably shouldn't have gotten rid of it. Let's go to Hella Dope Toys right now. Let's see if they put it up there. HellaDopeToys.com. Oh, it's already up there. So, hey, let's... Wait a minute. Remove this. All right, present. Share screen. So look at this. There they are. Delta 17 up live now. Go buy some. Use my code APWP. Get 10% off everything in store. And you know what, Stanley? Absolutely. Congratulations to Delta 17. Steve and Ken have busted their ass. Steve drove a fucking minivan packed full of Delta 17 things from Canada all the way down to Augusta, Georgia. They were one of the few companies that had figures. All right? And not just a couple, they had their whole entire line. These figures are awesome. They really are. There was one little issue, and that had to do with the T-bar. He will, if you have issues with the feet, he will send them out to you. They're easy to fix. Aaron, just make sure that when you do order 32 Okamis that you use my code APWT. But again, if you're ordering 32 of them, I'm going to assume you want that 10% off. But I love just seeing these right here. I have 6 of them. Another thing here, like this guy right here, Preacher, he's actually 4 inches, not 3.75. They have this guy here, Rooster, he's also 4 inches. So they won't fit in, like some of them won't fit in the G.I. Joe vehicles just because they're a little bit too big. But go ahead, pre-order some of these. Go do it now. Because you should have 2 screens open, right? Mr. Medga says, I paid for them boxes, so I keep them all basement from Walmart totes. I have card backs all the way back to Toy Biz. Cressio Crow says, Stephen Ken made this line something incredible. As a Canadian, their success just feels a bit better than any other I can think of. Well, you guys also produced, I believe, Justin Bieber. I believe Nickelback. You can't take that stuff back. Matt, if you like O-ring figures, you're going to like these. That's all that and I mean it, like, they are truly, truly a labor of love for them. Fighting codenames, it is APWT, A Punk with Toys. So, I can do it. APW. I always forget too. Don't forget Brian Adams. Yes, Briscoe. Blame Canada. Thank you, South Park. Thank you. Cresswell Crow says, "Stop! You are naming our worst. We gave you the tragically hip, Rush, and hockey as an early investment." Oh, you can say you gave us hockey, but remember, it is our Stanley Cup now. Random, because we don't want him from here. Anyway, go order some right now. Make these things sell out. And Ted said quickly, where was it? Ted said, Delta 17 is live for pre-order. We expect a shipment to arrive soon. So in other words, they've already paid for it. And Steve will ship it out. So awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Like, seriously, like, I'm really happy for Steve and Ken. They've worked so hard on this. And Steve did not. And again, I don't have a problem with people doing crowdfunding. I understand it. But he didn't take a crowdfunding. He got an investor. So when you paid for it, those figures were going out. And now if he decides to do a crowdfunder when he does his Hind, the helicopter they're going to do, you at least know you can, hey, they're not going to rip me off. They're not going to take my money and go and run. I'm still waiting for some stuff. Hey, you're my buddy, Woody. Everyone knows who you are, Woody. I love Toy Story. All right, so let's talk about the topic because I got like 20 minutes left. So this is going to be kind of a YouTube thing. So, as you know, I had the poll up here. Is buying subs on YouTube okay in your mind? 20% said yes, 80% said no. And if you haven't watched the video, please go watch the video. Don't do it right now, but watch it later on. And the video was the intro to the video and the extra to the video. They were done a week apart after I was done. You can really hear my anger at the beginning of it. So I spent $20. If you haven't watched the video, I'll give you a breakdown. I spent $20, and I specifically showed you what countries to send this out to. Not the U.S. because they charge you more to advertise. And the whole goal was to see how it would work, how it would boost the views, and how it boosts your subs. Now, I fully believe that some people have been doing this. And this is something in YouTube. Now, you were able to buy subs another way. But if YouTube caught you, you could easily lose your channel. This thing is, these are real people that will click it. Now, are they going to watch your content? Probably not. And I was a little bitter about this because I think it is totally cheating. And I had someone just recently made a comment today saying, your premise is wrong. This isn't cheating. Are you saying that all those singers that buy subs are cheating? Well, yeah. I mean, if you're buying subs, then you're cheating the system. Now, I actually did ask Nick Nimmin. If you don't know who Nick Nimmin is, him and his brother, D. Nimmin, they do a show on Saturday. But for YouTube content. I learned a lot of stuff from them. And I just wanted to hear what they had to say. And Nick pretty much said exactly everything that I said. So I asked it in a question. And he pretty much said the same thing. If you've already created content, you've already, amassed thousands of subs, it's not a big thing because you know how to grab people. Now, I still disagree. Like, if you just need to pat yourself on the back to say, oh, I have this many subs, I have more subs than you, then you have a very low self-esteem of yourself. And that's too bad. And I wanted to break it down, and I want to see how well it did. And oof, in 1 week, $20, it gained 500 subs. Now, because I'm not monetized on that channel, there's no way to know if it actually would have created any, if it created any revenue for me. Because I would never do it on this channel because it is everything that I'm against. And I'm monetized, so I don't need to worry about hitting those subs. But going through it, and I would watch it, and it would usually go. They pushed it out, I want to say, in the middle of the night, probably because there was all these countries from across the pond, not Canada, not the U.S. So I think if it would have been the U.S., they probably would have pushed it out during the day when people are more active. And at the end, I did think that maybe this is a good thing for some things. And I do believe I discussed most of this. And I won't be doing this, so I don't want you to think that I will. But I use Dan Larson as and I'm not saying Dan Larson did this, so please don't go run into Dan Larson and be like, oh my God, that punk said you were buying stuff. It's not what I'm saying. But if you have a channel where you have created a TV show, and that is exactly what Secret Galaxy does. They have a TV show. If you are buying, it's a promotion. If you are buying promotion so you can advertise your TV show, not reviews, but a TV show, I understand it. It's no different than, The Office, them buying ads for The Office so people will watch. It's the fact that people will just randomly, they have a subscribe button there just so people will click it. That's what I really don't like. If someone came in there, if you advertise hey, what's this Secret Galaxy thing? And again, I'm just using him because he has a TV show. I used Ken also, right? Ken does his episodics for, the breakdown, of the G.I. Joes, right? I think for his wrestling one that he did, like, I could understand if he did something like that. I wouldn't agree with it because his channel is not solely based on, hey, I do all these wrestling programs. He does live streams. He does some reviews. He does things like that. Maybe next year I'll do it with the Power of the Force. Maybe the Power of the Force. I'll be the only one with like 4,000 views on my video, right? But it's there, and I did this video just to put everyone on an even playing field because I know some people are doing it. And they brag about their numbers, and like your sub numbers were going up, but your views didn't reflect it. And if you go to Social Blade, numbers don't lie. You can figure out who's buying subs. And I just want people to know, hey, motherfucker, I know what you're doing, so just fucking shut the fuck up. And I have no issue letting everyone else know, hey, this is what people are doing. I'll let people else go out and figure out who they think it is and go look at it. The Punks on Film channel is still so fucking small that analytics don't even show up on Social Blade. It's absolutely crazy. Woody222 says, it is weird when you see someone with 500 subs and only 35 views after a week. Kind of fishy. That is exactly it. So, if you looked at Punks on Film, the video that I did, and obviously if you watched the video, you would see, it was the one on how making a, my daughter making a, the droid at Disney World. And That's the only one. Well, I take that back. The Billy Jack keeps getting fucking views, guys. Good job, Matthew and Ed. It's somewhere that it keeps getting views, all right? Black Knight says that he bought a meatball sub. That's okay. Like that's buying meatball subs is okay. I like the Vito, the Italian, or a grilled chicken. Those are good too. But yeah, it's. I feel like YouTube put this on there and hid it under this whole like promotions tab, because why should we let other people go somewhere else when we'll just do it for them? They're already doing it. Jay Astro says, I don't understand why it would bother anybody, because if it doesn't really help that much because they bought subs aren't really watching, then who cares if someone just uses it to boost their ego? It's not so much when people go running around and keep fucking telling everyone and you, oh, look how many subs I have. Oh my God, look how many subs I've gained. Oh, I'm doing, like, you're not doing it. You're not working for it. And I think the problem becomes, I can only speak for myself, when you're actually putting in the work and you're not bragging, but then you have someone running around buying them and then they're bragging. I think it just really fucking bothers me. Bothers a lot of people. If someone wasn't bragging, then maybe, and this is what's the difference between this and steroids. It's on the same level. You use steroids so you can get ahead. The difference is you don't take steroids and get big. You take steroids and you have to work your fucking ass off. So, it is one of those. Again, I know people say, "Hey, you know what? What does it matter?" It's just one of those things where it's like you're working really hard, and it's not so much that you see someone doing it; it's that someone can't people can't shut the fuck up. Viper Island telling you that he has 20,000 fucking subs, right? Well, how many of those did you fucking buy? You know, there have been other people that I have insinuated that their numbers don't look right. All right. I've discussed one recently. David Bruce here. They used it to claim more value in smaller channels, like it was a democratic process. Yes. Yeah. And again, like, man, it's. I think it's because you're just so fucking. I think when you get so in depth into what you're doing and you know you're busting your ass, it fucking pisses you off. My brother-in-law played professional baseball. And I was always one of those people that said, I don't give a shit about steroids. And he said, yeah, I get it. But you know what? I never did. So it makes me wonder, how long could I have stayed in the league? How much better could I have been when I'm pitching to these other people that are on steroids? And when he said, I was friends with Rafael Palmeiro, and he fucking told us right to his face, I've never done steroids. I would never do that. And then it came out. He's like, fuck that guy. It's just weird. You know? As the Crestio Crow says, it irritates me because it suggests a stronger appeal to its content. Yes. Meanwhile, the grinders are looking less than equal somehow. And that's, yeah. You sit there wondering, like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? It also makes people look. I'm almost at 5,000 subs. All right, this is gonna make me sound fucking very egotistical, but it's realistic. I would expect guys that are trying to grow, whether it be Tony, Crestio Crow, toy enhancer to look at my content, look and see what I'm doing, right? It's only logical for you to look at someone, and it's not to compete with them to be better, right? You're looking at them saying, what are they doing? What is it that makes these people tune in? Because I want to figure out how to do it, right? So just like he said, it suggested a stronger appeal. It makes people go, well, what are they doing? Now people are researching it, but when you're looking and going, well, wait a minute, you're at 10,000 subs and you're getting 23 fucking views. How are you doing this? You have a live stream. You have 12 people watching. Sheer number says you should have more than that. Hyperdelic here. Yeah, it's about growth as an artist. I guess, why does it piss people off? It doesn't piss me off. I think it's kind of fucking funny. Why does it piss people off that Milli Vanilli fucking lip sync? I mean, they were dancing. They had their lips synced because they didn't do the fucking work, you know? Tony's almost at 850. But you got to get, yeah, you're going to be at 1,000 soon, and you're not going to have the watch hours, motherfucker. Aaron the Toy Enhancer is a content fucking machine right now. And I know you're joking. He is a content fucking machine. And he's doing content that is different than a lot of other people's. And that is stuff that will get you noticed. I know this because I did things differently. I'm not saying like I'm the first one to ever do it, but man, what can I say? So many people at Joe Fest would come up to me and say, I love your content. You're just very raw about it. You don't bullshit, and you tell us what you feel. And I can't tell you how nice it is. I don't like watching people that are scared to insult someone. I'm not insulting anyone personally when I fucking tear your fucking, if I tear you a new fucking asshole with a fucking figure. My intention is never to review a figure and destroy it just to destroy it. Not even the Swiffer ghillie suit thing with a piece of shit, but that's a whole other story. Those figures are really good. The Swiffer was just awful. G.I. Bro, how do you think I feel? I saw Milli Vanilli at concert. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's awesome. And if they try to take my fucking Grammy back, I'd be like, fuck you, dude. You ain't coming to this damn house. You can take it away all you want, but this fucking Grammy is never leaving this home. Pop Blender says, because Milli Vanilli earned Grammy over the people and they didn't sing on any of their shit. They accepted an award when they didn't actually do the work. Yeah. And it's the same. And again, it's the same thing when it comes to this girl, you know, is true. Yeah, Swifter. I know, Swifter. Say it right. Ryan says, let's be honest, punks. They didn't come up to you. They were looking down at your short ass. There's a good chance on that. And again, there are people that I know that will look at other people that they don't like, and they live in a constant, you know, they're constantly, they need to one up you because they need to be better than you. I've said this about skateboarding. I never looked at a skateboarder and said, I want to be better than him to be better than him. I said, I want to be better than him because he's that fucking good. But in my thinking, by the time I'm better than he is at that point, I would assume he was going to be better. And I'm a very competitive person. And that's why I think solo stuff like this works best for me. Like skateboarding, I was competing with myself. In YouTube, I'm competing with myself. I can't imagine how I would be if I was on a team sport. I would be bad. Your clown says, "Is it because larger sub channels get more free perks from companies?" Are you asking? I don't. I don't. That is actually a complete. That's not true. People can try and use that, but when companies that are actual companies, they look at your analytics. So if your analytics say you have 50,000 subs, but you get 500 views on your stuff, they don't want to deal with you because they will see that something's fishy. I don't worry about getting stuff for free. I don't like that's. If someone sends me something for free, that's something that they're choosing to do. If I got this wreckage for free, right? Hasbro sends me this wreckage. I have to let you know. I mean, I don't have to. I'm going to let you know. All right, Hasbro sent this to me. I'm going to do a review on it. The moment you say that, people go, okay, well, you're not going to be honest because you want to get free stuff. I have gotten free stuff. What did I get fucking free? I got something free before, and I let people know. I'm still going to be just as brutally honest, but it doesn't matter. It's instantly going to change your perception of the fact that, hey, you're gonna bend the rules because you don't want to insult them. One of the things when Ken asked me if I would like to review Delta 17, I did not get them for free. They gave me a discount. And when I was done, I sent it to him first. And I go, hey, these are some issues that I saw. And they go, that's what we wanted. We wanted an honest opinion, and we knew you would give it. There's a lot of people that won't because exactly what you said. They want the next free thing. Why do people kiss Brian Flynn's fucking ass? Because they want the fucking things first and free, and that's what they get. All right, so I wasn't talking about you, just generalization. No secret, Pixar Dan gets Mattel stuff for free, as an example. Yeah, and again, that is something that people will work deals out with. There's a reason. Look at Mezco, all right? I talk about it all the time. Why the hell does The Amazing, The Amazing will almost always get Mezco free. First, I'm not free. He'll always get Mezco first. There's a few guys that have smaller channels than me, right? Again, not an indictment towards them. But I've seen people with less subscribers than me, technically smaller channel. Don't get Mezco first. Maybe they're paying for it. I don't know. But I truly do believe Mezco has a list. And it's like, these guys are going to get it first. Because they're going to say good things about us. Right? Not everybody wants that. And I'm not saying Mezco does. And I'm not even saying The Amazing does or doesn't, right? I don't really watch his content. I should watch it more because, as has been pointed out, the guy does the most fucking amazing poses just right there. And every time I've watched it, I'm just amazed at how good his stuff is. But yeah, so it is one of those, it's one of those things. And it does bother me because, again, I bust my ass. And I tell you guys, it doesn't matter to you how much time I sit in this chair. You guys want to be entertained by me. And I hope I do. I mean, I had the emails that people sent me for the stickers. I can't tell you how many people send a message. One guy said, "Hey, I love hey, can I get some stickers? I absolutely love your content. You're way more entertaining than some of the bigger guys." That means a lot. As I've discussed with people, like I don't understand. The channel has gone. I remember trying to get monetized. All right. I wish my daughter was here. I wish my daughter was here because I would show her the numbers every fucking morning. Because when you get close to that 1,000, oh my god, you'll be at like 979, and then you're down in 975, and you're like, God, I'm never gonna hit 1,000. I'm never gonna get there. Eric, I did not get a free wreckage. No, I did not. Yeah, and that's and that's greatly appreciated. Oh, that was it. It was that's what it was. No offense to it was Arsenal Pew Pews. I put all the stickers away. The only sticker I have is stuck. Gabe sent me free stuff, and I said it. Hey, he gave me this free stuff. I'm gonna review it. Now I'll be 100% honest. If somebody gives me free stuff, I'm going to be 100% honest if it's shit or not. If it's something absolutely awful and I'm friends with them, I'll probably say I'm not going to review this. Conflict of interest. The whole conflict of interest of why people say, "Hey, I just want to collect toys. I don't care if the owner's a dick." I'm like, I understand. I wish I could feel like that. But as I've got to know more and more and more people, well, you hear firsthand things and you're like, I can't deal with a guy that's a dick that is like that. But yeah, so but the whole buying subs thing, it does bother me. I know it bothers a lot of other people. I don't know for a fact people do it, but numbers don't lie. It's basically me saying, motherfucker, we know. So stop it before you piss me off and I go and tell everyone. And I go, here's the fucking numbers. Look at that growth. Look at these numbers. Just fucking stop it because you won't shut your fucking mouth about it. So. But anyway, it was a nice experiment. And again, I think that if you're Ken and you wanted to promote the what was the Von Erich story that he did, he showed me the numbers months ago, amazing numbers. I don't remember if he. I believe, and if you're here still, tell me if I'm right or wrong. I believe you had already started doing it, but I think that he held off because he knew the Von Erich movie was coming out, so he waited. That's genius. You dropped it the same time that Von Erich movie was coming out. You know people are going to be Googling who the Von Erichs are. Is this a real wrestling family? Well, guess what? It works. But if Ken wanted to go to that promotions tab and say, hey, you know what? I want to get views on this because you've created a TV show. We all have TV show. But to do reviews, to promote your reviews, guess what? Why do I want some motherfucker that is into electronics that doesn't give two shits about toys watching my stuff? It's not a TV show. I'm showing you a review of fucking Chuckles, right? If you're an electronics guy and you don't collect toys, you're going to be like, why the fuck do I care about this? But a TV show, even about the Von Erichs, a documentary about them. It's not just a documentary, let's say, it's not just a documentary about wrestling. People love documentaries. I can watch a fucking documentary about almost anything. Because there's something about real life that is fascinating. Secret Galaxy. He did one about the Noid. Do you guys remember the Noid? Domino's the Noid? I do, because Domino's is based out of Michigan, right? He does all kinds of things, not just stuff on toys. Matter of fact, he doesn't do a lot of stuff on toys anymore. And that's perfectly fine, because that's where his channel is taking him. And again, I'm not saying Dan Larson has bought subs. I'm not saying he's bought promotions. I'm using his programming as an example. Cobra Commander, I avoided the noise. Oh man, pretzel sounds good right now. But anyway, that was it. I don't have much more to say. Next week, we'll be talking about the Haslab. So we'll probably have a big audience because people want to talk about it. But next Monday will be about the Haslab. And we can break it down, and you figure by that time it'll probably hit every tier or be close to hitting every single tier. Oops. Woody says, let's get this man to 100 likes. We're almost there. What are we at? It's weird because it doesn't update unless if I refresh the page. So 90. Yeah, if you haven't hit that like button, you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It helps out the algorithm. Always check. If you're watching any content creator that you enjoy, make sure you're sub, because even though it's funny, I was just watching a content creator that was talking about it. Once you're monetized, it doesn't really matter. It's really about the views that you get. And so many people are in an algorithm. YouTube's like, hey, they like this content, and they don't even you don't even realize you're not subbed to it. Ed, my moderator, wasn't subbed to me for years. Didn't even realize it. So, he's like, I thought I was subbed to you, and I wasn't even subbed, but all your stuff kept showing. So, I'm gonna get out of here. When Tony starts saying stuff that makes me feel uncomfortable, I got to get out of here. Todd C says, I never plan to make content. I enjoy supporting you guys and the chat folks who collect the same stuff. It's not often you run into another toy collector unless it's at a con. You are absolutely correct. That is so true. And that's one of those things that we don't understand why there's why people are like, fuck you. You like turtles, but you're a fucking piece of shit. If this was at your work and you saw someone that collected something, even if you didn't, you'd have some sort of bond. But once you're here, you got to act like an asshole. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it. This Thursday, I will have Shiny Plastic People, Chris, Shiny Plastic People on. I can't wait to talk to him one-on-one. Every time I've talked to him, he's such a good guy. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, I plan to see you guys all Thursday, and then we'll do this all again on Monday, over and over and over, like an endless cycle and a crazy fucking groundhog loop. Have a wonderful night, everyone. I will see you Thursday.